Hi, folks.
Hello.
I'm joined by Lennon, who you have your own YouTube channel.
Yes, I do have my own YouTube channel that I can't remember the full name of, so I can just send a link to Lucy and she can shout me out in the description. Go and check it out if you really want to.
How do we describe what we're going to do today?
Judging 60s Who stories by their importance of whether they should exist or not.
Yeah, so there's missing episodes across Troughton and Hartnell's eras. We're going to judge every single story in those eras and rank them based on which ones are more deserving of being lost
yeah.
and which ones deserve to be
recovered.
Yeah. Show. An Unearthly Child. We are including, this is the first 4 episodes plus the pilot. And we're ranking this against the Daleks.
Okay.
Alright, so what do we think of these two?
Well, Unearthly Child, I'm of the cliche opinion that episode 1 is great and the rest of it kind of falls to pieces. And the Daleks is very good up until the cave stuff in part 6, and that's where it starts to drag. For that is difficult because we've got the first ever story and the first Dalek story, so...
Okay. Right, okay, so my opinion of these stories is... An Unearthly Child, I think that the episode that was actually broadcast is kind of crap. But the pilot, which for some reason still exists, and I know no one else holds this opinion, but I think the pilot is some of the best Doctor Who ever produced.
I used to be of that opinion.
Really?
Yeah.
You liked the pilot?
I liked the pilot a lot more. I used to, especially when I got the beginning box set back in 2016, because I'd seen it on the Horror Channel a few months before. So I put the disc in and just pressed play all, and then that came on. And I was like, okay, this is the first ever episode. And then it got to the actual episode 1. I was like, wait, is there a recap at the start of episode 2? I don't remember this, and it just kept playing and playing. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I'm watching the same thing here. And then I went to episode selection. I was like, oh, I never knew there was a pilot episode to begin with. So
yeah, I had a similar experience.
Yeah, but I prefer the actual broadcast one. I don't think the pilot's terrible. It's just last time I watched it, I see why they re-recorded it.
I think
the issues of it were bothering me. So I
think this existing is incredibly important because we get to see how the Doctor starts, and especially seeing him in the Caveman episodes.
Yeah.
You never see the Doctor
picking up a rock to fucking bash their head and.
Yeah. The Doctor's at a really unique place.
Yes.
I don't think it really matters for Ian and Barbara's beginning, because I'd
agree with that.
We're assuming that if these end up being lost, if these become lost, then we keep the telesnaps. So telesnaps are just a bunch of photos that were taken of
Not fair, yeah.
Of each episode, give or take, that we have to make reconstructions with. And every last episode has its audio surviving, so that's nice. Alright, so Daleks, obviously very important. It has the Daleks.
This was the story that I think proved that, the show can be popular. This is what made it popular.
Yeah, it's such a shame it's not that good.
It is good, but
is it?
It's the most original Terry Nation ever got anyway, so...
Surely not.
Because he just rewrites the same thing again and again.
Look at the Keys of Marinus.
Okay, I'll give you that. That's the most unique he's been after, the Daleks. But, those first 2 stories are really important, and with this, it is a... See, the thing is, this is what... Whether people like it or not, you can root back in Doctor Who's history to what made things continue. The changeover from Troughton to Pertwee made it really popular. Power of the Daleks show it continues for a generation, but if you want to go back to and Hartnell started it all, but if you want to go back to the core fundamental thing of why it became popular, it is because of this story. Yeah,
it's so important as a story because you need to look back on it and be like, okay, so this started Dalek Mania somehow.
Pretty much. Well, I'd say Invasion Earth started more of that, but
yeah,
that's when it really skyrocketed. I got 12 million viewers when that aired. So.
Alright, which one's more worth keeping?
Oh, I hate this.
I think for the origins of like the main character of the entire show. I think an Unearthly Child just... You want to see when he's first there, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a difficult decision. Fuck. Well, for me, I mean, I hate saying this, but it has to be Unearthly Child.
Yes, let's go! Okay.
Because it is the first.
Unearthly Child rises to the top. It's the most deserving to exist.
Right.
This will be an interesting one. The Edge of Destruction, my favourite of all of these stories.
Yeah.
It's...
Don't get why, but...
Right, assuming this, like, if this survived and we kept the visual stuff, which we have, like, the visuals in this are utterly incredible.
Who directed it?
Richard Martin and Frank Cox.
Frank Cox, yes. Anyway, it's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah, go on. But it's visuals.
Yeah. Okay. So the visuals. You've got Hartnell's speech that everyone loves, where the
yes, I forgot about that. Okay, right.
Yeah, it goes dark. Hartnell lit up, just being like, "A star is born,"
like a fucking maniac. Yes.
You've got like Susan pulling a knife
on Ian, yeah. Which,
on Barbara.
That was the first scene in Doctor Who that got parents complaining. Like going at the BBC, like, how dare you put this in a children's show? That was the first scene that really made parents go at it.
It's one of the scariest moments.
Oh
in
yeah,
Doctor Who.
absolutely.
Like, you feel the danger. You're like, no, hold the scissors the other way.
Yes.
Then there's like, there's at one point just like the TARDIS takes a hit. I think it's near the start, but I could be wrong. And just everyone like goes to a different corner of the TARDIS, like some sort of like 4-way Mexican standoff. The whole story is just pumped with so much atmosphere, and it's only 2 episodes, so it's hard to like argue of its value. But this is also the moment when like all of the relationships in the TARDIS sort of end up coming together.
Yeah.
Everyone like hates each other at the start, and they're sort of on a lot better terms by the end.
Yeah. For me personally, it is 2 episodes. It was just created to fill a gap, and that's why it's inside the TARDIS. It's the first good look you get at the TARDIS actually, which I didn't even think about that.
Oh yeah.
And it has got Hartnell's speech, and it has got the scene where he talks to Barbara, and they sort of make up with each other. But personally, just my opinion, it's David Whittaker's first script as well, who's one of my favourite writers. I think Unearthly Child and the Daleks is more important, but
this is my favourite story.
Yeah,
like,
I know as
I mean,
well, this will be hard when it comes to Power of the Daleks for me.
So I respect. Shall we put an Unearthly Child above it just because of the historical importance, and we both have something we love there?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah.
And put it above. Is it okay to put it above Daleks, or do you want to fight that?
No, it's fine. I mean, some of our personal opinions are going to come into this anyway, so...
Thank you so much.
Don't agree, but anyway.
I owe you one.
I think that's more important still, so...
Marco Polo, our first actually missing story.
Yes. I've got a few notes for this actually. One that really surprised me, because I always thought it was another story. So, it's obviously the earliest missing story, as most people know. It's the first pure historical. It was William Hartnell's favourite...
We should explain what a pure historical is. A pure historical has no alien stuff apart from the TARDIS team.
Pretty much. It was William Hartnell's favourite story he did. I never knew this, I always thought it was the Romans.
Why would he like this?
I don't know.
Does he just like the pretty props and stuff?
I have no idea. It didn't really give me much information on TARDIS Wiki as to why it was his favourite, but this was his favourite apparently. So, in terms of being recovered, I'd like to see that. I mean, I would like to see what made it click for Hartnell that,
Wow, so it's all downhill from here.
Yes. An important thing as well, I think, just with it, I know we should be telling that story here, no moving footage of this exists.
Yeah.
There's not a single frame of anything.
Now, I don't lament this, and there's a reason for that. The loose cannon reconstruction of this episode they have a colour reconstruction.
Yes, which I've never watched. But yeah.
I've never liked a story, but when I watched the colour reconstruction, I felt like I was there. Like, honestly, if they recover it, would I even prefer it to the colour reconstruction?
That's a good question, actually.
Like,
well, I've never watched it, so...
there's not that much interesting that goes on physically. Like, there's a lot of nice sets and stuff. Right, what were you saying?
The colour reconstruction, I've never watched it, but basically what you were saying was if this got recovered, do you think you would prefer the moving footage to...
Yeah.
I would hope so, but...
Yeah, you'd hope so.
It's nice seeing it in colour.
It is so beautiful. Like, I love this story now.
Yeah, Lucy was not a big fan of this, and I was always like, "Why? It's bloody brilliant! This is my favourite story of season 1."
It's kind of like the Keys of Marinus of historicals, where you're a different place every single episode.
Yeah.
And that's really cool. In terms of it getting recovered though, like how much more value would we get from it? Like all of the beautiful set photos look great in colour.
Well, I mean, to me, the things that I was going for is there's no moving footage, so I would like to see something from it, like, you know, physicality wise. I want to see it move, which is a weird way to say that, but it's the first pure historical, and which I think is incredibly important because it's such a defining thing for this era. But the thing that's really changed it for me now is it was Hartnell's favourite story to do. I want to see what is in that made Hartnell go like, oh yeah, this is my favourite. Also as well, we've got no telesnaps for episode 4.
What do you want to see from this?
I know we've got pictures in that, but I'd love to see the gorgeous production value and the Mark Eden as Marco Polo. I'd love to see his performance because hearing him on audio, I think he's incredibly good.
Yeah,
he's a great character. And I'd love to see his performance for that. All the map stuff as well. Remember the map thing that goes through? I'd love to see how they actually did that.
What we're talking about is like a bit in the reconstruction where you've just got a map and you've just got the little pointer where they're going and where they're travelling.
Basically Marco Polo's writing a diary and he's basically saying like, oh, we've travelled this far and etc, and you just see like the little arrow moving across the map. It's just such a very cool visual.
I think we drop it below the Daleks though. The Daleks is the Daleks. Marco.
Then this is where I have to get a bit. This is where I have to forget personal opinion of story.
No.
No.
I'm not going to argue that hard to keep the Daleks. Like if you want Marco Polo to go above, I will not complain.
Unfortunately, and I think the reason why these 3 probably got released together in the beginning box set is because this has got character arcs that are so important to the rest of that era, especially for Ian and Barbara, because especially at the end of Edge's Destruction when they come into the road. So
I think especially for the Doctor.
Yeah, that as well, especially because you know he's so different in those first 3 stories.
Yeah, those first 3 stories are so important just for the character arc.
Yeah. So even though I think Marco Polo's supreme in this pile, yeah, I'm gonna agree with that. It should go under the Daleks.
I think it'll still end up quite high up.
I think it will. I
think these are all very worthy stories.
No, they are.
Unlike...
Especially those first 4.
Alright, let's see. The Keys of fucking Marinus. So, I think this is bloomin' brilliant.
I like it, but not that much.
Okay, so episode 1 of Keys of Marinus, we go to a pyramid surrounded by acid.
Yeah.
You get to see all of that. You get to see the amazing pyramid with the rotating doors and everything.
Yeah. Sorry, it's been a while, by the way. So
you get to see the boards.
Yep.
And a deflated board, deflated by being dissolved by acid.
Yeah, because the submarine cracks. So yeah, some of the acid would have gotten. Yeah.
Episode 2. That's I think the jungle.
That's the mind control one.
Yeah.
With the creatures in the jars. Yeah. That's a fucking good episode.
That's the best episode.
It's the best episode of the whole thing, 100%.
It's
Barbara's so good in that.
And like
filthy rags.
seeing how they shot that is just thrilling because like you've got people they're just shooting it with like nothing there, but everyone's like, wow, this is a massive lab and beautiful clothes. And you've got the little brain mind controlling aliens,
of which I think a lot of people forget this. If you don't count the Daleks, because you never see the inside of them anyway, apart from the hand underneath the cloak, those things in the jars, whatever they're called, they're the first like alien monster we see in Doctor Who.
Holy shit.
Because the Vords, I mean, they are aliens, but they're not like a disembodied like human, and you don't see the full Dalek mutant in the first story anyway, so they're technically the first.
I mean, maybe these things in jars have like big bodies under the desk.
Probably actually did, to manipulate them, but no, they are the first like sort of monster, like proper monster you see, so
and then
I think
the next episode you've got the living jungle,
which I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, okay, you've got one of the most horrifying things ever, which is the statue with human hands that grabs you.
Barbara's ass, yes.
Like, that freaks me out so bad. Like, that's proper horror.
You think?
Yeah, and also just like the living jungle, the jungle attacking everything and stuff. I think that's really interesting, and it's not badly done.
The bit I like in it is when remember when Ian and Barbara end up in the house and they have to work out the formula or something? No, they're looking for the next codes.
Yeah,
because the guy knows it, I think, if I remember correctly, but he dies by getting strangled by vines, I think, or something, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
I like that scene.
It doesn't. I don't feel like that scene needs to exist visually.
No. It's just a nice scene.
It's a nice little problem-solving thing. And then, like, the next episode is
God.
a really beautiful episode.
The Snows of Terror.
It's so atmospheric with the snow and the ice. Like, the way they depict the ice is, I think, gorgeous. I think the creepiness of the like, knights who, like, wake up and they are so visually creepy. It's such a visual episode. The visual menace of Hagrid.
Oh, yeah, that... Oh, yeah, forgot about him.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah,
like,
he is.
I think,
especially his intentions.
Yeah, absolutely. What did you think of that episode?
People say it's the weak link of the law, and yeah, that's the general opinion.
What?
For me, I think probably. Right, watching it again last time, I see why people say that, but I do agree that. I agree that the ice stuff is actually well done, and I'm going to give him this, right? See the bits when Ian and whatever the guy's name is, see when but see when they're out about in the landscape and they're going through it, right? It's so bloody obvious that it's just a couple of cardboard boxes with white sheets over it, fake snow, and black drips with little fairy lights.
Oh, I never noticed that.
If you not, it's really... There's certain shots where it's like, you can really tell. But my God, I'm saying this, I really appreciate the effort they went to even put something like that together, because yeah, it's so basic and it's very obvious when you watch it, but the black and white and the music and the atmosphere really helps elevate it, and it doesn't make it as obvious. Like, you believe in it when you're watching it. So.
Yeah, I fully believe in it. Now the courtroom stuff, whatever, I don't
really care for that.
It's of no value.
It's the weakest part of the story.
However, the episodes that we described, I think the fact that there are so many different episodes within this one story, like so many stories within the one story, I think gives it...
It's basically key to time. In a six-parter, when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
So, I think this deserves to be above Marco Polo.
Okay.
I would have it above the Daleks, but I'd also accept it below because obviously the Daleks is very fucking important.
Well, to me, the Daleks is more important, so...
Can we put it above Marco Polo, or do you have scruples with that?
Well, I just prefer it as a story, but I suppose in terms of something that shows that they can do things of a very limited budget, because Marco Polo ate up a lot of that. Yeah, Keys of Marinus, I put it above Marco Polo.
Thank you.
You know. Because they had no money after Marco Polo, so... Well, they did, but just not a lot.
You're a true bro. Okay, the Aztecs.
Very good. But you probably don't agree.
I think it is very much elevated by being able to see it visually.
Really?
I
Yeah.
think...
Oh, it would not... Oh, God, no, it would not work as a reconstruction. I cannot imagine that at all.
Yeah, like, why do we think it's... Like...
Well, this is the first time that shows that, you know... And I don't care for this, that history can be rewritten. It cannot. Whether you like it or not, Stephen Moffat, it cannot. And I stand by Hartnell's line, you can't rewrite history, not one line. That's the first ever time that gets stated in the show.
I mean, the Time Meddler rewrites history.
Oh, that's a good point. But anyway, fuck you, Dennis Spooner. Anyway, this shows that about the importance of changing history, and it's, my God, it's such a good character piece for Barbara. This is probably my favourite story of hers.
Yeah, I think when I think of how good this story is in terms of the visual acting, there's Ian and his rival.
Yeah.
I think... Yeah, it's a weird one. Obviously it's a good story, but...
I think it's a period of history not many people talk about either. The Aztecs.
Yeah, I think I would like it so much less if it didn't visually exist, whereas I don't think Marco Polo has that issue. I would put this above Marco Polo, even though, you know, it's 4 episodes and Marco Polo's 7.
7. Well...
I mean, I'm not too wedded to this. What's your thinking?
To me, it's a better story for Barbara than Keys of Marinus, so...
You want to put it above Keys of Marinus?
Yeah, I really do. But it's still not important as the Daleks.
Is this the one that I owe you? Is this...
Yeah, this yes, this is the one you owe me. Yes.
Okay.
I get it's because it shows the importance of rewriting history, and it's because of Barbara in it. It's such a good character piece, and I would never want to lose that.
It is.
It's
very
her,
strong.
her acting in that is superb.
It is true. And I think like the guy who sort of, you know, is like the guy who's like, please don't be false, I believe you.
Yeah.
Like he's got a
Well,
yeah.
Krotons.
No.
Oh. No, I think is it him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's, I think visually his acting, also just like he's quite interesting in nuance, but there's also Hartnell having the closest thing that Hartnell's Doctor ever has to a romance.
Yes, I forgot about that. Oh my God, thank you for reminding me. Yes, he makes some cool, because, I mean, I don't know how the Doctor could forget such a thing, but basically in Aztec times, if you don't know, basically your way of getting engaged was making cocoa to a woman, and the Doctor does that accidentally, and she thinks like, oh yeah, you're going to marry me. Yeah, this is the first time he has a sort of underlying romance, but they do it with such respect, because he's just sort of like, oh yes, I'm in a bit of trouble here, so I need to sort it. You know, he doesn't lust after it, but...
I think he loves it, but he's also
he loves it, but he's like,
oops,
I can't do this because this is going to change history.
I'm going to roll with this, but also...
So he's been a bit cheeky in it, you know, like he didn't mean to do it, but yeah, I forgot about that, yeah. That's really important, I think.
Right, there's times in Doctor Who when they're lifting something really heavy that's clearly very light. And this, usually I overlook it and it doesn't bother me, but in this one, like the massive rock that goes, that locks Ian off, that looks so light. Everyone's just carefully like, oop.
Well, yeah, they're just like, fuck, don't snap it, it's made of styrofoam, don't snap it.
We have a fight scene in it, which, although it's not like the greatest fight scene of all time, it's nice to have a fight scene in Doctor Who. It is a visual thing that...
Well, I do know actually, I know the fight scene you're on about, and...
oh yeah, multiple fight scenes.
There's multiple, but you know when Ian fights his rivalry?
Yeah.
And he falls down the pyramid.
Yeah.
The way they shot that is actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, they actually killed someone for that.
No, yes, that's exactly what they did. No, they done a glass shot, and what a glass shot is basically what they did is because they knew they couldn't achieve the shot like high up in the gallery, so they got the actor to lay it on the floor, and then they mounted the camera on a wall.
Okay.
And basically sort of had it up. That way it gave the appearance that he fell right down to the bottom of a pyramid. When he's actually just lying on the studio floor and the camera's just mounted like attached to the. So it's basically a wall. It's like it's 4-sided wall, and it's mounted to the side of it. That's a really good
Yeah, that's so cool.
It's a cool piece of clever piece of trick. Yeah.
So we're putting this above Keys of Marinus.
I would say so. Yes.
You want to lift up the Daleks and let me place it on.
Right, one you're gonna defend.
Show this Sensorites.
Which is underrated as fuck.
According to you?
Oh, do you not like it?
No, I love it.
Okay.
I think the Sensorites has a really cool alien design. I think
God, yeah.
in terms of what deserves to survive, the first 2 episodes are what really deserve to survive.
Yeah.
You've got the shot going from inside the TARDIS to outside of it.
I saw it come up on Twitter recently. It's such a good shot of that. It's the first time the show really does that, where you walk out with them into the room. It's so good.
When does it do that again?
I suppose New Who, but I can't. That's the first time it happens.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful shot.
The Sensorites also look amazing, especially in that first cliffhanger.
Yeah, when they appear outside the spaceship window. No, part 1's cliffhanger is superb. I know a lot of people say that part 1 of this is the best and then it just kind of falls apart afterwards, but I completely disagree with that. I think the Sensorites has really good alien drama. I think it's good alien drama, and also the world building and their culture.
Yeah.
As a society, they're really interesting.
The problem is, I think after they leave the spaceship, it's a great story, but visually, it doesn't really matter if we lose it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It kind of loses its magic after the spaceship stuff, because I think that's the best part about it, definitely.
I think the Sensorites are a phenomenal design.
Yeah,
but
they're one of the greatest looking 60s monsters.
I'm happy to put this below Marco Polo. Happy to. I don't know. Those first 2 episodes are very good. Yeah, I would place it above Marco Polo, but I don't think I would place it any higher.
In my opinion, I think if this was a reconstruction, people would just dislike it even more. So maybe because people seem to really like Marco Polo as a reconstruction anyway. So
yeah.
I'll probably put it above that. Also, just 2 more things. It's the first time we get a description of Gallifrey. Because remember, Susan's like, oh, the trees are bright silver leaves and the skies are burnt orange. It's the only time we see Susan use her telepathic abilities.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking shame they never use that again.
Yeah, it is. It's one of Susan's best stories.
And it's got that scene where Hartnell gets really pissed off at, the 2 Sensorites, and he's like, I don't... what does he say?
He's a dick.
Yes, he's a dick.
He shouts at them when they're like, if you shout at us, it's an audio attack.
Yeah,
he's like, well, that's not very fair.
But he says that line of, I don't make threats, but I do keep promises, and I promise you I shall cause you more trouble than you bargained for. That is such a good line, because you feel the fury of him as a alien, I think. I love that scene, but that's in the first 2 episodes as well, so...
I don't know, in that line I still just see him as a prick,
fair enough.
Because around that point he's just saying oh Susan, I can't believe you're disagreeing with me for the first time ever.
Yeah, that happens.
Which is bullshit.
I'd put it above Marco Polo and underneath Keys.
I won't contest that. Oh, Marco Polo. So low. Polo.
I love how the only story we have missing in the season so far is at the bottom.
That's probably a good testament to how great the shooting is of this season.
Yeah. Right.
The Reign of Terror. So
I don't really like it.
I think of the 2 French Revolution stories, it's the better of them by far.
What's the other one?
Massacre?
Oh, but that's not the French Revolution. No,
is it not?
No, that's...
People in France. It's
people
the French Revolution.
Okay, people in France, you think it's the better one. I prefer Massacre. I used to prefer this, but not anymore. I was really not keen on it last time, so... I'll quickly get my notes up, because I've got 2 for it.
I think Barbara... It's either Barbara or Susan. One of them has brilliant hair in one of the scenes. I think when they're being carted out.
I think that's Barbara. The only two significant things I think from it anyway is it's the season 1 finale.
The ending of it is so cool.
It's so good.
Isn't it?
However, we have the final part anyway being episode 6. So to me, it's not really important if 4 and 5 ever got recovered because so it's the season 1 finale.
Yeah.
However, we have the final part anyway, episode 6. Basically, what I'm saying is like, yeah, we've got parts 4 and 5 missing. However, we've got the last episode anyway. So,
we're deciding whether the whole thing should be lost, not from this point in time, but forever lost.
Basically, what I'm getting the point is, to me, episode 6 is really the only true important thing in that. So I'm judging on whether, to put it lower. I'm just saying, like, I think out of the whole thing, episode 6 is the most important. But the other thing that would be a shame to lose is it was the first Doctor Who story to feature location filming. Don't know if you realised that.
It has some really good cliffhangers.
Ian looking out and seeing they're about to get the chop.
Guess of Madame Guillotine is a beautiful title to just throw up there.
It is a good title.
The Doctor burning to death is...
That's a great cliffhanger. That's a really good... Yeah, I forgot that cliffhanger actually.
I think this goes on the Marco Polo, but I don't think it's far below. I think it has a lot of good production value. It's
got a good production value. I just think plot wise, it's just not really for me. So like to me, it's the weakest of the season. So, but again, I'm trying not to put my personal opinion in.
No, shove it in.
But yes, other than it being the season 1 finale, to be honest,
I don't think its placement in season 1 makes it particularly special.
Nah, yeah. I think it goes at the bottom.
Alright, lift them up.
Plus, even though the animation's rubbish anyway, I think it's good enough. Right.
Okay, now for one of the highest placed ones, no doubt.
I wonder.
The Planet of the Giants!
Which was originally meant to be the first ever story, for anyone who didn't know that.
So, The Planet of the Giants is an incredibly visual story with amazing props.
Props and production value, yes.
You've just the thrilling stuff. You get to see the cat and it looks massive.
Yeah.
It's just so charming.
Yeah, I agree. It's incredibly charming to watch it. I think it's... Plus, it's got a good, environmental plot as well, about, wiping out a certain part of the insect system and the damage that could actually do, seeing locusts as pests and flies, and it's got to be honest,
it's just so charming. The cliffhangers, you've got the cat, you've got the plug being
the sink cliffhanger. The sink cliffhanger's really good. That's the only two. Yeah, there's only got 2 cliffhangers. Yeah,
they're legendary.
The legendary. I do prefer the sink one. I think the sink one's a brilliant cliffhanger. Yeah.
It's so silly.
It is silly. It's got amazing production value, which I would never want to lose. Actually, do we consider that? I mean, I suppose not. But this was meant to be a 4-parter.
Yeah, I've not watched the reconstructed one.
Neither have I. Well, they trimmed part 3 down, so I don't know with that. I suppose we're just imagining it as the 3 episodes and not, if it was.
Yeah, I think we're just considering the 3 episodes.
3 episodes, yeah.
The lowest I would place it is above Aztecs. The Daleks is so important, even though it's kind of not that good.
If you think.
But honestly, I'd put Planet of Giants above the Daleks and below the Edge of Destruction. But what do you think?
I would put it underneath Aztecs and with Keys of Marinus. Just because of Ralph Barbara's performance, but.
So you want?
No, she's pretty good in this.
Barbara's performance over the good props.
It's the fucking thing that's really
Performance over props. Okay, counterpoint. Barbara has a great performance in Planet of Giants. Who knows why she's keeping stuff like her injuries from people.
Yes, why?
But
silly women.
Her doing that and her losing her mind over that is really cool as a
cool.
character thing. She never freaks out that much again.
No.
Give me more words.
Okay, I'll give you that as a fair point. It's got a good performance from her regardless, so... yeah, okay.
It's got the first cat in Doctor Who. Cats are always welcome in Doctor Who.
They are always welcome in Doctor Who. Do you remember that there was going to be a companion cat in Series 11? I'm sure I've told you that before.
What?
Yeah, there was a genuine rumour that went about in 2018 that there was going to be a ginger cat aboard the TARDIS with Jodie Whittaker and Graham, Ryan and Yaz.
Oh.
That was just a silly rumour that never came to be, but it would have been cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd put it underneath Daleks.
Thank you.
Oh god, here we go.
Okay, now for a kind of naff story with some iconic visuals.
Yeah.
Right, so what is visually good about this story apart from the drum scene where everyone runs about London? I mean, yeah.
I guess it's not really anything else. That's the one bit everyone remembers. Oh no, the Dalek rising out the Thames. I was about to say
that. Legendary.
That is legendary.
We do get a similar thing in another story. The Chase.
When it's rising out the sand. Yeah.
It's a bit more goofy there.
Yeah.
It's just like
squirming out. That is so. I think that's one of the best Dalek cliffhangers ever in the show.
It is. It's kind of not that visually great of a story apart from that.
No, because it's probably directed by Richard Martin. So.
I think imagining the Dalek ship and stuff and outside the Dalek ship, I think imagining this story would make it so much better than it is, kind of.
So, kind of like a Fear from the Deep situation, where do you think if it got recovered, people might find that a bit disappointing? Because people rely on it as an audio. Yeah. Like that happened with Web of Fear, because when it came back, people were actually saying, oh, maybe this is not as good as it was on audio.
Huh.
Some people were thinking that.
Wild.
Yeah, and people were saying Enemy of the World was the better story.
So, shall we put this... It is an iconic story.
It is. I mean, for me, what I was going for is the drum scene. It's the return of the Daleks. Obviously, that's a huge thing. It's the story that cemented Dalek Mania, and it's got the Dalek rising at the Thames. As a story, I mean, it's a bit batshit insane that they're trying to pilot the Earth as a giant spaceship, but
we get that via just telesnaps and audio.
Yeah, exactly. So, but my biggest problem with it, and there's always been this opinion, it's fucking poorly directed. So I don't think, in terms of visuals, for me, I wouldn't lose a lot. So
it would be one of these great lost ones. Shall we have it at the bottom, or do you want to put it higher?
I would put it just above Reign of Terror.
I'd accept that. Goddamn microphone. I honestly can't believe we came together and put that so low.
Yeah, I know. I mean.
I thought you'd
Lynn will kill me when she sees this video because that's her favourite Hartnell story, so she loves it to bits.
Tell her it'd be better.
I don't get why.
Tell her it'd be better if it was lost.
If it was lost.
It's going to be interesting, like, finding the ones of these that would be better lost.
Yeah. Right.
Hello, Rescue.
Yeah.
Now, this has basically 3 great moments.
What do you think that is?
It has how crap the monster Sandy is. It has...
I'll leave Sandy alone. Sandy's a cutie.
It has Barbara killing Sandy.
What a bad bitch.
Which is amazing.
It is.
But I think, like, visually, just, like, those 2 bits, whatever. Like, I think the crapness of Sandy is very good, but because, like, then when Barbara kills it, it really adds the impact.
Yeah.
But the transcendent part of this story is at the end, when you see the ghosts of the race that were destroyed. Maybe they aren't ghosts, maybe they just survived. But it's utterly just wordlessly incredible the way they just appear and kill the baddie, and it's like, you just got a sense of awe.
I love this story to bits. Even though it's a two-parter, and again, it was just there to like fill in a slot because they had no budget. I love this story because I just think it's such a good, warm feel, like comfy story, and I've probably because I'm a huge Vicky fan, obviously introduces her. This is the first like
I think it is
companion introduction outside of like the first three when you think about it.
I think it is
because they're already there.
Valuable as Vicky's introduction. Like there are companions who I think have rubbish introductions.
Yeah,
but
Vicky's one's good. It's really good.
Yeah, I think you're really warm to Vicky.
Yeah, very cool. And for me, the most standout scene from it is that bit when Hartnell talks to her. And she's really pissed off that obviously Barbara killed Sandy. You know, he's basically saying to like, you know, we're just trying to help you. We're not going to ruin things for you. And he basically says like, okay, you can't see what Barbara did was wrong because you didn't know. And then he says, well, how about you try and see it from my point of view, just for me, eh? Which is a bit sort of controlling, but he is basically trying to get to her in the sense of, well, you can't see it from Barbara's point of view, but try and understand just for me, so you know we can all get on along fine. He's trying to be confident, and I love that scene.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Doctor in that scene, but I think in terms of establishing the dynamic between Hartnell and Vicky,
yeah,
it is very important. I think it's a kind of a naff story, but it's also kind of great.
It is great.
Where would you put it?
And
it's 2 episodes. I mean, I've got my Edge of Destruction up high because it's holy.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna put it like above, you know, because all that stuff you can just have on audio anyway. I don't think there's like, I think Aquilion's a great looking monster, or the costume anyway, because it is a gamma costume. But you know, you can see that in
Is it a good looking monster? Yeah,
I think
it definitely isn't benefited by being in motion, really.
I mean, look how visually interesting that fucker is. Holy shit. The mask is amazing, I think. Those big jaws. But it is only a 2-parter, and apart from Vicky's introduction, it's...
I think that bit at the end is really good, but it's like...
when it falls off the cliff.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit like the Sensorites in the Space Museum and the Rescue, they're all kind of weirdly weighted. There's just like high points.
Me, personally, I'd put it above Reign of Terror.
Okay. So below the Dalek invasion of Earth.
Yeah, just because of the cliffhanger and the London scene.
Even though we think that Dalek invasion of Earth would be better lost, I think like it would devastate us all if it was lost, but I think it would be better lost, whereas the Rescue is better to exist and we get to get the actual performances. I guess Dalek invasion of Earth has the exit scene between Hartnell and Susan.
I forgot about that. How can we forget about that? The first companion departure. To me, that's more important.
Okay, I'll let it swing on that level because you need to understand. You need to watch it to understand how bad the chemistry is between Susan and David. You need to understand how shitty it is that Hartnell does what he does to her. Ooh, poor Rescue, down so low. Now for the Romans.
My second favourite Hartnell.
How much has it benefited from being visual?
Ooh, the comedy.
I think I could
not watch that as captions.
I think having Nero chase Barbara around is something I actively hate because it's basically just a rape joke.
Yeah, it is.
So I would be glad to lose
that. But
it's
it's in character for Nero, that's the thing. But at the same time, yeah.
We've got the Doctor just having fun kicking someone's ass.
Yeah. Oh, you want to fight, do you? Yeah, that scene. Yeah.
That
splashes on the water and everything. Yeah.
Would be a devastating scene to lose.
Yeah.
What else is there in this? There's Ian on a ship, which is just cool production values.
That is cool production values, but I would say it's the weakest part of the story for me. It's the bit when the Doctor pretends he's playing the harp, and everyone's like, you know, because he's told them, please act like this, because Neil's not supposed to know. Neil's like, I'm not hearing anything. That is such a... And it's so funny.
It's so visual.
Yeah, it's so visual, yeah.
You couldn't just have that on a reconstruction.
No, definitely not.
Anything else?
There's the... Well, all the... Oh God, when when they're just having a good time, like when they're all lying back and eating grapes and
Yeah.
Like Ian's like to Barbara, there's some ice in the fridge, stuff like that, and they just when she's brushing his hair as well, stuff like that.
Very unique vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting
good comedy
convinced.
visuals I would not want to lose.
Okay, so above Sensorites, or where would you put it?
Well, because again, just great sets in that. I'd put it above Keys of Marinus.
So
comedy.
It's not as good as the Aztecs, you say.
I'd say maybe I might put it.
A comedy relies a lot on visuals.
Yeah,
I quite like to put it above the Aztecs.
Yeah, I'll agree. I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Alright. We fuck over Keys of Marinus, we fuck over Aztecs.
Right. Oh, the big one.
Okay, now the web planet is very interesting because when I first tried to make a list ranking the stories for this, I put the web planet at the top.
Okay.
As the most essential thing to survive because why did I think that? I mean, like
we both really like this.
I think as telesnaps, it would lose a lot of its charm.
It would.
It's such a visual undertaking of a story.
Yeah.
I find those little things that live underground incredibly adorable. The way they move is just amazing.
The way they hop, yeah.
I think what are the bee ones called?
Menoptera.
I think the Menoptera's wings are just
beautiful,
and it's just a symphony to see them in. Like if you just had the telesnaps, you just hear them like rat around like plastic bags.
Yeah.
But you actually see them fly.
On harnesses, but it's still really cool. I love that scene where they're attacking the Zarbi.
Yeah, it's just incredible. There's so many. It's such a visual story.
100%. Like it's no wonder. Like I mean, people shit on it nowadays because they say like, oh, it's a bit, wobbly and it's got like bad, Menoptera effects and whatever. Like people just really shit on it because of the visual effects, but this was the most highest viewed story of the Hartnell era. This was the most highest viewed story of the 60s because there was nothing like it on television. This was the shit when this came out. This was as popular as the Daleks because there was nothing else like it.
There's nothing else like this in the whole of Doctor Who.
The whole of Doctor Who, to be honest, yeah. Because this is the only story that doesn't have a human supporting cast.
Yeah, I remember you telling me.
Yeah, they're all aliens.
I think we both love it and respect it.
I do. I really respect, again, highly visual. And
I think I'd despise it if it was just telesnaps.
The problem, this story has a bad enough reputation as it is. I think if it was missing, people would just be like, oh, this is like Space Pirates level, as in they would just have it so low down.
Yeah, like that noise that was it the Vardy do? What are they called?
The Zarbi.
Yeah.
Why? It's so annoying.
It's so alien though.
No, it's so alien. I love it, but it's like fucking hell. Stop. It's like just stop for 2 minutes. I think we've already both agreed on where it's going without even telling each other.
Where are we putting it?
I
put it above the Daleks for sure.
I put it under the Daleks. But I hate this. I don't want Unearthly Child to be at the top, but anyway.
Give it time.
Give it time.
Right, so you think the web planet should be below the Daleks?
Yeah, I do.
You're willing to destroy the value of the web planet and elevate the Daleks has nothing to it. There's nothing good in it.
Visually,
it's naff.
The plunger bit when it's attacking Barbara. God tier cliffhanger.
Yeah, like the bit where like Barbara's like locked off by a door and you just see her.
Oh, the shadow. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
But I think
so atmospheric.
That's all of the good visuals. Is just that.
Do you know what's funny? They were both directed by the same person. Richard Martin.
I mean, I will capitulate to you if you... I will submit. But, I would put it above the Daleks, but it's up to you.
I don't...
The will of Lennon.
But it would lose a lot if it didn't visually exist.
It would lose everything.
I mean, to be honest, I think this would be my placement above Edge of Destruction, but well, it's not...
I'll allow it to go above Edge of Destruction if you allow it to go above the Daleks.
But again, right, I don't know what it is with Richard Martin, but we seem to like sort of be clumping his director stories because he directed that as well. So...
he directed Edge of Destruction?
Yeah, well, part one of it.
What else did he direct?
Daleks, Invasion Earth and Web Planet and The Chase.
Oof, that's a mixed bag.
Yeah, because he's a rubbish director, anyway.
Edge of Destruction's amazingly directed. The atmosphere is so...
That's because there's someone else halfway through, anyway. In my opinion.
No, but like the first episode, it is the better episode in terms of atmosphere.
I can't remember.
Yeah, like that's the episode that feels like a dream. There's only 2 stories in Doctor Who that really feel like a dream. There's episode 1 of Edge of Destruction, and there's Once Upon a Time from Flux. They both have very dreamlike vibes.
Not Mind Dropper Part 1?
It doesn't feel like a dream.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah.
Anyway,
if you want to retain the Daleks, it's hard to argue that the Daleks shouldn't be preserved, but I do argue against it. I think it is of lower value, and I think the Web Planet is such a monumental, unique thing in all of Doctor Who. It is of high value.
It's because you have the Edge of Destruction so high, that's why I'm like, nah.
You can put it above Edge of Destruction if you want.
But it's got key character scenes. So, yeah, unfortunately...
You're putting it below Daleks.
Yeah. I love how the 2 bug stories are together. But I always thought we're the same story for a while.
My planet, no, you deserve more. Okay.
Oh dear, this one.
The Crusade. Okay, so it has brown face. Probably many brown faces.
I mean, Marco Polo did as well, but yeah.
Yeah, but Marco Polo at least has a personal colouring, I suspect.
Oh yeah, it does, yeah.
I suspect the Crusade...
No, there's not a single actor in there that is of that at least origin, so...
And...
So incredibly racist and outdated, yes.
So, if we argue for this to be resurrected, we're arguing for all this brown face to be resurrected.
Yeah.
And not only that, but the one good thing about this story, and it makes it tower above every other Doctor Who story, is the dialogue at particular points feels like how people talk about stuff being Shakespearean.
Oh, well, the stuff between like Richard the Lionheart and his sister.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Like he's got some really good. Like the King has some really good. Like
he does. Yeah, it's very Shakespearean.
And I get all of that from the reconstructions.
That's fair.
I don't think this needs to be reconstructed. In fact, I think it's better it's not. Not reconstructed, saved, whatever.
For my notes, well, I know we're judging on loss and stuff, but I've put if episodes 2 and 4 return, it would complete season 2. Make it the only complete 60 season. And apparently Verity Lambert decided she would be leaving as producer during production. So the only thing that has going for it for me is I would like to see what made Verity Lambert decide to leave if it was completed. I wonder if it was the brown face. I don't think she would have really cared because outdated attitudes, but anyway.
Yeah. I think it's by far the least deserving of all of these.
Probably. The only scene I think it has going for it is Ian nearly getting eaten by ants. Because I think that's so funny.
Oh,
because that guy pours honey on him and then he leaves a little trail for the ants to come up.
Yeah, I remember that feeling quite racist as well.
Yeah, because he's like...
Here's my desert.
Yeah. Oh, there's gold in your boot. Yeah, stuff like that. It's like, oh dear. Yeah.
I think this is going to be one of our lowest.
Because I would rather have the end scene of Reign of Terror with the stars and that over this, so...
I'd rather have any episode of Reign of Terror over this.
Crusade, so right at the bottom then.
Hell yeah. Sorry, Crusade, you
It's
just
not a very good story, so...
But it has some of the greatest dialogue in all of
It
Doctor
does, which we can just hear on audio.
Alright, the Spice Museum. Now what I think is this. Episode 1, bloody great. It's also quite fun having just Ian be in fuck it mode and just be like, you know what, if I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna... I just need to do weird stuff. I don't know. You've got Doctor hiding in a Dalek, that's good fun.
Yes.
I think all of the aliens look terrible.
The Morlocks, which was meant to be a phrase for moron, which is actually kind of... For people who don't know, this story is meant to be a comedy. And it's kind of obvious when you're watching it. When Glenn Jones, who wrote it, when he came to do the Target book, he made it a comedy, like it was supposed to be, and I know people do say the Target book for this is better. For me, I like this story overall. A lot of people just say that part 1's the only good thing and the rest of it's crap. I disagree with that.
It's good.
There's a good revolutionary story in there, I think.
I love Vicky leading a revolution.
Yeah, that's really good, yeah. But for me, importance-wise, well, episode 1's just bloody marvellous.
It's incredible, absolutely top tier.
Yeah, and like the time catching up with them is amazing, and the Doctor and the Dalek is obviously like a very funny, iconic scene.
Episode 1 is so based on visuals, how good it is.
Yeah.
Which makes it so tough to put it as low as we're going to put it.
Yeah, exactly, because apart from that, it's like, apart from Vicky leading the revolution, I don't really think there's anything else in terms of... Oh, Hartnell and the swimsuit. Yeah, let's just assume that exists as a telesnap.
Hartnell tricking the minds machine.
That's good as well.
Yeah, I don't... Honestly, I just put it above the Crusade.
I'd put it above Reign of Terror.
Alright, happy with that.
This is going to get harder to do as it goes on. There you go.
Oh yeah, we blighter. Yeah, we're going to have to get a system for this.
Yeah.
The Chase, the first story I ever masturbated to in Doctor Who.
Fuck's sake. Oh dear. Apart from that, you can hear that on audio.
You can. But also, I think the way the plants act is also very core to how horny I am for them. Like, the fact that, like, they try and hump you, but you can, like, hit them and they'll just be like, ooh, and they're so pathetic, they're so easily warded off. Now, I think the gurgling grunge plants...
I was in stitches when she told me this.
do have value, but there are more valuable things.
There are more valuable things than the fungoids.
I think the battle between the Daleks and the Mechanoids would be better not shown.
Oh, so do you think it's a bit crap?
In imaginations would be how they should be.
Yeah.
It is kind of fun having Stephen to begin with, but also...
I forgot it's his first appearance, yeah.
I don't value his first appearance that highly. He's a cool character, but he doesn't feel that much like Stephen. I could get everything that I get from him there.
Onwards rather than just in the chase.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I think there's a cool sense of height when they're at the top of that thing. But obviously the best stuff about the chase is towards the earlier parts. Dracula. Like, who is it that suplexes a Dalek?
Who's it what, sorry?
Is it Frankenstein or Dracula?
Dracula that goes, don't go.
One of them picks up a Dalek.
Oh, it's Frankenstein.
Like, yeah, I think obviously that episode is kind of amazing. I think in Manhattan? Is it the Empire State Building?
The Empire State Building, yeah.
Like, the guy who plays Stephen, he's so good in it.
He is good.
I love it. He's it's such a delightful scene.
You're uncovered in blue spots.
Okay, how does the chase start?
It's on that planet with the desert, and it's like
time and space visualizer.
Time and space visual. Well, yeah, that. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's got the Beatles in it. Which, if we were to lose this, then every single Beatles performance from the 1960s on Top of the Pops would be gone.
Huh.
This has the only scene existing from them on Top of the Pops in the 60s. So that'll be...
that would be important
That
if
is
the
important.
Beatles were good.
Yeah. Anyway.
You like the Beatles?
Yes, I love the Beatles. Anyway, well, I think... Well, again, I don't think it would work as a reconstruction. It's very highly visual with the way it changes locations.
Oh, the ship.
The ship, yeah.
Very funny.
But also, it's got obviously the Dalek comedy. There's that scene where they nod in agreement with their eye stalks, which is so...
Oh, I don't remember that.
It's when they're in the jungle. No, actually, they all come together and they go, like that with their eye stalks, like they're nodding in agreement. It's so funny. It's got that. It's got the Dalek falling out the ship. It's got
someone just jumping out of a ship holding a baby.
Which is a bit like what? Sorry.
I love it. I think this is sort of such high value. Like of the Dalek stories, I think this deserves to be the highest. But
it is important for visuals.
I would rank it around the Daleks and the Web Planet. It's such a unique story because doesn't like Terry Nation and his estate just have a rule saying you can't make Daleks comedy?
I think so, and he did that himself. Well, along with Dennis Spinner, but yeah.
So this is the only time we really get to see comedy Daleks.
Daleks, pretty much, yeah. Even though I just found out he criticised part of the Daleks for the fact they're too nice and sweet in it. When that's the fucking point. We'll come to that.
Terry Nation, you have no leg to stand on. Your Dalek stories are...
Hypocrite.
The Daleks in them aren't the high point.
I think the most important thing is Ian and Barbara's departure.
Oh, yeah, oh, that's lovely. That is lovely.
It's a beautiful scene. And I don't, on audio, but it's just quite sad, but I don't know, it's just, there's something so nice about the visuals in that.
Yeah, they're so happy and they're together and just, it's lovely. Right.
I mean, we would not have telesnaps for every single picture, so...
no, I think just... This story has so much going for it. It's like the Keys of Marinus in a way.
Yeah.
You've also got the Dalek coming out of the sand.
That's pretty cool.
It is legendary.
It is legendary.
I think this is... I put this above the Daleks.
Me who completely disagrees with that. Because it's somewhere in the middle for me.
Where? I think it's of higher value than the Romans.
I don't. Although they both have comedy and need visuals for it, so they're kind of a tie, aren't they? Okay, I'll let you off of it. Let's clump these two together in terms of being important visuals with comedy. Yeah, I'd put it just above.
Yes, let's go!
The Romans.
And another win for a Planet of Giants.
Because it's just got good production values.
Now,
end of season 2.
The Time Meddler.
Yes.
We all wish he was the Time Rizzler, but no, he's the Time Meddler. Now, I think the monk kind of sucks in this story, and I would much prefer to just imagine how he is. Whereas when he returns in the Dalek Master Plan, he is ultimate.
You think? I prefer him in this, but okay. Yes.
Just trying to think what value this story has.
To be honest, now this is going to sound mad because I know Time Meddler is a very popular story, and I do love it. I mean, well, it's directed by Douglas Camfield, who's my favourite director, and I'm just double checking. Yep, Dennis Spinner. Incredibly well written, I think, but you can hear all that on audio. I think in terms of visuals, the only really important thing that we would... Right, again, it relies on some good visual comedy. That end scene where they're looking at the stars.
What?
The end bit on Time Meddler where it's got the white, like you see Hartnell and Vicky and Steven, it's got the white interface.
Ah.
Do you not remember?
Nah.
No, do you not? Oh my... How do you not remember that? It's so good.
I imagine it's good.
Yeah,
yeah, they become part of the stars.
Yeah. Because again, at that point, they weren't sure if they were going to continue. That's why Reign of Terror ends with like, our destiny's in the stars, let's go and search for it, and then this basically goes like, we don't know if we're going to continue, so let's just end with their three faces. I love how they were thinking, you know.
Doctor Who's so good when it's like, we don't think we're going to continue.
Yeah. Like the same thing in Series 1, see when Eccleston is in the hologram and saying goodbye to Rose, again, they weren't sure if it was going to continue, that was meant to be like another event. See, it does that stuff really well. So in terms of importance of a visual, apart from that and some visual comedy,
I mean, I'd pop it below Reign of Terror. But I'm willing to be flexible.
I'd agree with that. Because again, I just think the last episode of Reign of Terror is just important because it's the end of season 1.
Yeah, let's go! And
Space Museum really relies on the good visuals in episode 1, whereas that, apart from the end and some visual comedy, which we already kind of have here, yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yes! The Time Meddler! Oh no, down you go. Show Galaxy 4.
Yes. Oh shit, let me get the microphone.
Galaxy 4.
Yes.
I love the Chumblies. I think they are some of the greatest monsters of all Doctor Who, and it is a tragedy that we do not really have much of them.
Apart from episode 3, yeah, and the brief scene from episode 1. I think one thing we should mention from this point on, up until the Savages, there are no telesnaps for these stories that are missing, so I think we should just take that into account when going through them.
So this list is basically, no matter where we rank them, they're going to get more of their material restored than they previously had, unless they have like existing episodes and stuff.
Yeah, you could take it like that, yeah. So in terms of it coming back, well, because there's no visual representation, I personally think that's really important. So, but depends on said story. Galaxy 4, I mean, it's a very...
Chumblies are amazing, and their loss is devastating.
Well, I think in terms of a visual representation, they're the best thing in it, but I get...
They're adorable. What if the Daleks were cuties?
I've only got 2 notes for this, and it's... if we had a complete version, or if we did have a complete version, we would have the last 27 seconds of episode 3, which is when Stephen's getting choked in the airlock, and I think that'd be a pretty cool visual to see. However, you can't hear this on audio, this is just a fun fact. This is the only non-Dalek story to have the control room heartbeat. So you know the dun, dun dun that you hear in the background of Dalek control rooms.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the only non-Dalek story to have that.
Huh.
I just thought it was a fun fact that but you can hear it in audio. I mean, Galaxy 4, I mean...
I actually prefer it now it's got the animation, because like...
So do I.
The people who are meant to be clones of each other now look like clones.
Oh, clones, yeah. The Dravens, yeah.
People complain that the original actors' likenesses...
Well, they're different heights and everything, yeah.
The original actors' likenesses aren't saved, but I don't give a fuck. I think the story makes a lot better sense now.
In terms of a story point of view, it does make sense. I think the animation, yeah, has always helped boosted it, but I mean... Right, let's really... Going off the audio and the sets that we can see in the very few pictures, like, there's nothing visually... I mean, even episode 3, which, to me, the most visually interesting thing in this is the Rulls, I would say. The giant, like, slug monsters.
No, the Chumblies.
Well, the Chumblies as well, but we've got them in episode 3, but personally, I would just like to see more of the Rulls from it, and that would basically be it. Because I think the Rulls are big, adorable sweethearts, so...
Alright, where are we going to put this?
Not very high.
Above the Crusade? I kind of value the monk's performance above the Chumblies.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that
and
myself.
That hurts me to say that, because he is the Time Meddler in that story.
I was literally about to say that myself, yep. Before you squashed my finger. Right.
Now for mission to the unknown.
Which I think it's kind of lost a bit of value now because it's been remade. So, but Still.
Like I think the fact that it's remade. I've only seen one of the recreations, but.
Is it the animated one?
Nah.
Oh, so have you seen the University?
The one
remake?
freely available on YouTube.
The remake, that's a remake, yeah. To me, it's the beginning of the best Hartnell story.
It is such a good story. I think our recreations that we have kind of mean that I don't care if it never gets recovered.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, the remake is one of those points, like, for me, of like, you know, I think it's good enough, but I think probably the most important thing is this was the last episode produced by Verity Lambert. So I'd like to see the production, like, visual of it. It's the only Doctor Who story to not feature the Doctor, the TARDIS or the regular cast, therefore giving the rare opportunity to allow someone, in this case Mark Corey, the leading role. I would love to see that.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that's so unique. You know, you don't have the Doctor in it. The Doctor's not the main character, it's a space agent. You know, I would just love to see what that looked like.
Oh, please tell me, how do you feel about Love and Monsters?
He's still in that, but
He's
not
basically barely in it.
He's barely in it, but this doesn't have the Doctor in it at all. So it'd be. I think it'd be interesting.
I think the fact that it's one episode really hurts it.
No, I agree with that. I think the this was the and another thing as well. Obviously, this was a backdoor pilot to Terry Nation's failed spin-off, The Destroyers. Therefore, it's the only Dalek story in which they take the lead. The Daleks are the main characters on it.
Okay.
Apart from the space agents, so that's something I'd love to see as well.
I'd really like to see the Varga plants. I think.
Yeah, I mean as well. Yeah, and the transformation, because I think they're such a. Even though they're just like big bed sheets with spikes, I think the concept of them is genuinely horrifying.
Yeah.
Like, that you get like struck by this thing and it just overtakes you. I think it's that's so cool.
And also just the aliens, all the aliens.
The delegates, yes.
Do they all reappear or do some of them not?
No, there's two that don't come back later on. Changed by master plan. So getting footage of them would be, you know.
Okay, what were you thinking?
Just one more thing as well. This is also, again, one of the 3 stories that has no surviving footage, remember?
Okay.
And making its recovery a big deal, and we would know what the spacesuits look like.
And I think also, like, currently it's got the worst audio that survives for
Yes, it does. That's a good point. Yes.
I think when we're arguing for this to be lost, I think it deserves to be lost with the same level of audio quality that other stories have. Yeah. I don't think we should be ranking it as if it has the terrible audio quality that it has.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it does have, you're all right, it does have currently the worst audio quality.
It's unlistenable.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible. That's a good point.
Where do you want to place it?
Because I think there's a lot of good points to it.
Is it better than The Rescue?
I was gonna put it a bit higher.
You go on.
No, because Romans needs its. Well.
Below Marco Polo? That's 7 episodes. Are you really willing to...
That's a good point. I need to consider that.
Single episode against...
That's a good point.
Oh.
Fuck off. That's a really good point. That's annoying me. Fuck. Because it is a better Dalek story than Invasion Earth, so I think anyway.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I put it above Invasion Earth. Because I'd rather have 7 episodes rather than 1. That's a good point.
Yeah, but... Yeah, it is a better story than
It is a better story. 100%.
Well done, Mission to the Unknown. I don't think you do that well.
For being 1 episode.
Yeah. The Mythmakers. Now,
I love this story.
Though it be that Vicky's final story.
Which I have in my notes, yep.
The fact that it's her final story isn't very significant because they just make her fall in love with a guy.
Fucking a Trojan and then she just fucks off to have sex with him.
Yeah. I don't.
She gets very horny for this Trojan soldier.
I don't think that holds much value, to be honest. And even like Katerina's first episode.
That's in my notes as well.
I honestly don't think she's
makes enough of an impact.
Yeah, she's just a nothing character.
Well, because unfortunately that's how they wrote her, because they were basically like, well, you know, let's just they didn't want to have Katarina in the series anymore because they were thinking, well, you know, she doesn't. She's like out of her time, basically. They thought that they would rely on that too much. The only other note I have, this was Peter Purvis's favourite story to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fun.
So, apart from that...
I think a lot of the comedy, I mean, obviously it's hard to tell, but like...
I think audio-wise it still comes across well.
Yeah, plenty of comedy. Like, the cowardly guy is great.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, who knows how comedic it was, but, like, there's almost like a whole episode where the Doctor's just inside a wooden horse.
Yes, I don't think that'd be really, like, thrilling visual-wise, so...
Yeah, it's not the biggest loss. I mean, it's cool to get more Doctor, I guess, but...
Apart from that, I mean, well, yeah, there's no telesnaps, but... it's one of the least represented stories in terms of visuals in the archive, but...
I think that's okay.
Do you think?
I think the merits it has... I mean, obviously we don't know how it was visually, but I just don't... I'm not yearning for it to be visual. Well, there's like Vicky and Stephen in the prison cells at some point.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah.
Like, none of it is... Yeah. Honestly, I'd probably put it below the Crusade. Wait, no, the Crusade has, like, round face. That's not resonant.
Yeah, I thought, even though it's one of my most wanted to be animated, I do agree that, yeah, in terms of, like, visual loss, maybe it doesn't have a lot going for it, personally. Because I think the Rouse control room would be more interesting, because I'd love... I know it probably looked shit, but I still would love to have seen how that looked.
I do love the design of their ship.
Yeah, I'd put it above Crusade.
Yes! We actually agree.
There we go. Right, the big one.
The Daleks' master plan.
Yes!
How many episodes is it?
12, and 9 of them are missing.
And...
So, big fucking deal if that all gets recovered.
Right, let's talk about what exists. The monk episodes.
In Egypt, yeah.
Some of them exist, and he is amazing in that.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
wearing sunglasses in ancient Egypt.
I know, he's just such a badass.
There's also a bit in that whole pyramid section where a Dalek does, like, one of my favourite things a Dalek ever does. It does a kind of Tokyo Drift kind of thing.
Oh, so it does, yeah, when there wasn't past, yeah.
I love that. Alright, tell me why the Daleks master plan.
That is so important. Well,
I only want to it on my last watch.
yeah, I know, finally. Finally. Well...
Oh, the final scene where everyone just gets eviscerated.
Fuck yeah, that I want to see.
I need it.
Yeah, so do I. So, weirdly, even though this is a 12-parter, I don't have as many notes for this one, but there's still things to talk about.
Look at that.
So, episode 4 obviously has Katarina's is her last episode.
Oh, it would be...
Which gets sucked out there a lot. I know we have the scene, but...
We do.
Yeah, when she... Well, we don't have her when she's out there a lot, but when obviously, like, Stephen shouts Katarina, like, when she's, like, in the airlock. We don't have the her body floating for space, but we've got the scene before it.
That is one of the most emotionally moving moments.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely.
Classic Who.
So, that, to me, is a big deal. I thought this was interesting. You know how they never made a tele-recording for Feast of Stephen because they didn't see the value of it being Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah. New information to me, ! Apparently there was a tele-recording made for the Feast of Stephen.
What?
Yeah. Meaning this story could have a very, very slim chance of being recovered in full. This note was originally going to be that this story can't be recovered in full. So basically what I was going to say was like, well, let's take that into consideration. We know that's never going to come back, so would this ever come back in full? Nope, a tele-recording was made. Then the paperwork exists for the document date.
Honestly...
We don't know if it exists, obviously, but there was a recording. I never knew this.
While I do not enjoy the Feast of Stephen...
Neil Daleks is so unpleasant to listen to.
Yeah, like
it's just
the
noise.
Audio is so bad, but if it existed, we'd have it on DVD, we could turn the audio down, we could put the subtitles on, and we could visually see what's going on. And that's of value.
No, it is a value.
It is a mess at the moment.
I think it would come across better, obviously, visually. Episode 7 features the first fourth wall break. Happy Christmas to all of you at home. Now I know we can hear that in audio, but I would actually like to see him fucking turn to the camera and go, yeah. And they're just like, Sarah's like, sorry, does he do this a lot? And Steve's like, just ignore him, he's going round the bend. Anyway.
Doctor's just like, shut up,
shut up, yeah. It's the first ever appearance of Nicholas Courtney in Doctor Who.
And I don't give a fuck.
Do you know, but this is the closest we'll ever get to the first Doctor and Brigadier on screen. When you think about it, I know he's not playing the Brigadier, but that is. I know we've only got episode 2, obviously, to see that, but to me that's important. He's such an iconic character as the Brigadier. Like I would love to see all of that in full of him with Hartnell, personally. To me, it's important, and it's Brett Vine's first appearance. I do count him as a companion, by the way.
Yeah, no. The Brig counts as a companion.
Well, Brett Vine and Master Plan, but
the Master Plan. No, him and Sarah Kingdom are not companions.
To you,
they appear in one story.
To me, they're companions, but okay. Anyway,
this is bullshit.
Just 3 more finds here. This is the longest Doctor Who story in the show's history, unless you choose to count the Trial of a Time Lord as 4 stories.
Or unless you choose to count like the whole of season 1 of Doctor Who as a whole.
Fuck off.
Series 1. Like the whole new series, you could just call one story, which I think is a bit longer.
You could. Okay. Anyway, no, I'm sure. They were just.
This is the longest.
It's a good point.
This is the longest clear
cut story. Yeah. It has the first proper Christmas and New Year specials.
What's the New Year special?
Volcano, where they meet the monk in the volcano, and the Daleks are counting down at the end to launching their spaceship, and you got the bells like going.
Oh, for fuck's
sake. They're counting down to New Year's. It is a New Year's Eve special.
That's wild. And
the last thing, I just thought this was funny. Apparently Peter Purvis was not impressed with the story. Declaring it as 12-part tosh. That's a fucking line from him. I just thought that was hilarious.
Okay, so the stuff I really value from this story, apart from the monk and the bit at the end where everyone dies.
Yes.
I really want to like the aliens.
The alien delegates, yeah. I want to see all that.
So good. I want it.
I want to see Douglas Campbell's direction as well, and the dark. Like I want to.
What else has he directed?
Inferno, Seeds of Doom.
They're all really good.
Yeah. Crusade, Planet of Giants, The Invasion, Web of Fear.
Okay.
Your opinion changed. I named your 2 favourites first.
Yeah. And then you mentioned
the Crusade. He directed that as well.
Well, we don't know how the Crusade's done, but like The Invasion, come on, come now.
It's very well directed.
Is it?
Yes, it is. Anyway, but no, I want to see his direction. I want to see the deaths of Katarina and Sarah Kingdom, especially Sarah Kingdom, because the photographs we have of that is fucking horrific. Brett Vine's her brother, remember that as well, and she kills him. She kills her own brother. I'd love to see that as well.
Oh yeah, we never talked about the brother killing in the Dalek invasion of Earth.
Oh yeah, that with the Robot Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
That's a good scene.
Alright, where would you put this?
Oh, well, I think it's already sitting where it should be, but anyway, it's 12 episodes, and you know, if this all came back, it'd be like, oh, that's a 5-hour story recovered, you know, like, to me...
So it's worth more than the first ever story.
That's the fucking problem, that's the fucking problem. I know you'll disagree, but for me it goes up... Oh shit, actually.
I'd pop it below Edge of Destruction.
Do you know what? I'd pop it below the Daleks.
Who are you?
That still wins for you though, doesn't it? Below Edge of Destruction.
Does it? Is it really less valuable than the... Okay, fine.
Because it's the first Daleks.
Yeah, sure.
Even though this one's better.
Historical import. I think the Daleks is rated way too highly here. This is nonsense. Okay, now for the Massacre!
That is probably the least most represented visual story ever.
There is nothing visually surviving about this.
Yes, that's the last one now.
Apart from a publicity photo.
Of the first Doctor having a drinky poo, yeah.
Let's get going, folks. The Massacre. It sucks, it's so bad.
I know you don't like it.
It's boring, it's banal, it's...
But maybe it would work better if it existed.
Maybe.
That's the problem. I think that's the problem people have with it, is because there are no telesnaps, there's poor audio quality, and there's like fucking 2 production photos out of it that people just be like, we can't see anything of this. Maybe if it got recovered.
I'm not willing to roll those dice.
I know you're not.
Like...
I mean, you already mentioned this. Again, this is one of the 3 stories of no surviving footage. This is the first time you see the actor who's playing the Doctor taking a double role throughout the story. You get to see him play the Abbot. And I think that would be a testament as to how good of an actor William Hartnell is. Because he does feel different as the Abbot. Especially when you listen to it.
It's very minimal stuff that we see of the Abbot. It's like a scene where he's like...
I know the Abbot's barely in it, but I still thought that was an important thing to point out. It's the first appearance of the bad bitch Dodo Chaplet. She just walks in at the end and like, who are you? I don't know my mum.
Okay.
My parents don't care about me.
Okay, yeah. Hartnell's speech at the end.
That's what I was going to come on to.
And
yeah.
Dodo appearing. Like, whilst Dodo maybe isn't the best companion,
yeah,
her chaotic energy is worthy of preservation.
Yeah, this is the first time the Doctor reminisces about past companions, and you really get a feel for what he's lost. So to me that's the key thing about it.
Yeah, although I really get a lot of that from the audio.
No, I'll give you that. The only other thing was, this is the first Doctor story to be directed by a woman, Paddy Russell.
Ah.
So I'd like to see a woman's direction compared to... Because obviously everything had been directed by guys before, I would just like to see what she does differently. Even though we've got other stories of her directing existing, I would like to see her first.
What's the first story written by a woman? It was Barbara Craig.
I think it was. If I remember correctly, I think it's The Smugglers.
The Smugglers?
Yeah. I think.
Nah. Nah, I think
Off to find this out.
It was a lot later than that, folks.
Oh, sorry, that was directed by a woman. Apologies, yeah, you're correct.
Enlightenment. That's the first story in Doctor Who written by a woman.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
5th Doctor.
Wow, yeah, I know. Well, a lot of direction. Right, to boil this down, basically, the thing it has going for me is the Massacre itself, but I do wonder if the pictures we see in the reconstructions what they actually used.
Yeah, but
I think that's what it probably was.
I hope not. I really want...
you want to see proper...
I'm curious to know how
they depicted that. And Hartnell's speech about companions. To me, really, it's episode 4. That's what has going for it, but we're not judging it on that, so...
I pop it above Mythmakers at a push, because, it's like it gives Stephen a spotlight. That's...
I forgot about that, yeah, of course, yeah.
That's not of no value.
Personally?
Yeah.
I would just put it above Galaxy 4.
Okay, fine. I'm 50-50 on that.
Just because I think it's just more important than Chumblies and Rose. Yeah. Just because he's reminiscing. It's important.
You might be right. Okay.
Oh god, not this story.
The Ark! Okay. So, Dodo's first proper story.
And causes a fucking pandemic by sneezing. Yep.
Yeah. Now, alright, get us out of the way. The Monoids.
They're shit.
They look amazing.
The way we both just went, they're shit, they're amazing.
Don't the actors control the eye with
their
tongues?
tongue? Yeah, it's a ping pong ball with an eye painted on it. They control it with their mouths. And they've got people's haircuts.
The Monoids are so cool.
I think it's better when they don't speak. Of course, we can hear this on the audio. Take them away to the security kitchen. Iconic.
I love when they speak, because they're clearly really new to speech, and they just...
I suppose, yeah.
They just give away their plans really easily.
Yeah, that was...
Like...
And then Dodo's like, what did you just say? And he goes, ah.
And it's because they're so new to speech, they don't realise...
Their mistake. Yeah, yeah.
It's adorable.
I think the stuff, in terms of visuals, the shrinking stuff I think is pretty good.
Shrinking? Yeah,
because remember they miniaturise people who've been infected or something like that, and they store them away in the little containers.
Oh, I don't remember that.
No. And the elephant, that was a real elephant.
Huh.
That's quite a big deal for showing that budget to get something like that.
So I think the first 2 episodes, I don't think there's much value in their visuals, but the second 2 episodes, you've got the invisible people, that's kind of cool.
And the refusions, yeah.
But I think it's really just the monoids. I think they are so charming.
Charming, fair enough. Apart from, I think it's hard to look at it like that because it is existing, but right, to be honest, my opinion on the story's coming in, I don't like the arc, so to me it's not really, yeah, do you know what?
Where would you put it?
Do you know what?
What? Don't say it. Don't you fucking say it.
Underneath the myth makers.
No.
Okay, what do you think?
Okay, so basically if we're arguing for the arc being good because... Well, if I'm arguing for the arc being good because of the monoids, and I also value the Chumblies in Galaxy 4, who do I value more? I think ultimately as the Chumblies...
They're adorable.
I think they lose something by being just... like in the same thing with the Yeti and the Abominable Snowmen, they lose something being robots. If they weren't robots and they were just cute little things, it would be a lot more valuable.
You think? Okay.
Can we put it above Galaxy 4?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine by me.
I would like to see more of that Stephen carrying the show. I think it would
to me, that's more important.
It would help me warm to him.
100%. Yeah. Okay.
Now for an interesting one.
Yeah, the most recent animation as of now.
The Celestial Toymaker. So.
Hate it. Anyway. Not the animation, just I hate the story, I think it's crap.
I'm not a big fan of the animation, but also I think that the story looks... I don't... Judging by the surviving episode,
yeah,
the story, if it survived, it wouldn't look that good. And
no,
it's better in our minds.
I completely agree with that. I think, to be honest, I think it's like tough enough. I know we have the animation now, but I think it was tough enough to watch as a reconstruction because it's so visual. But I don't think those visuals would be really any good. Yeah,
I really enjoy. Like, I think what I really would like from the visuals is the playing cards. The husband and wife.
Yeah.
I love the husband so much.
Husband. The phone, do they, my dear? Yes.
So.
And very racist, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he says the fucking N-word, remember?
Oh yeah, who says that?
It's him, it's the sweet, it's the one you I know, it's not him, isn't it? But the phone, do they, my dear? And then, yeah, that, unfortunately. The one good thing the animation did, cutting that out.
It boggles my mind that the Dalek invasion of Earth is so high, given we said that it would be better if it was lost, but I think the story is best lost.
Yeah.
To which end I would put it above the Crusades because it doesn't have brown face.
My notes don't add a lot. The only things it's really going for is it's the first appearance of what would go on to become one of the Doctor's most iconic enemies, the Toymaker, but I don't think that'll be visually exciting anyway, going off episode 4. However, more importantly, this was the first story to tackle the idea of regeneration / changing the lead actor. Now, yes, Hartnell is invisible for most of it, which is not a very good thing to say for visuals, but it's interesting to,
Honestly, I'd rather roll the dice on the Crusades and see if that's any good than get this back. I love this story, but I think I'd love it less if it actually existed.
This won't apply anymore, but Part 1 features the first time Doctor Who shows clips from past adventures, meaning if this gets recovered we would have scenes from Master Plan and Massacre. However, if we have rated both of these above that, then I suppose that doesn't apply.
Where do you want to place it? I'm willing to put it at the bottom.
Hmm.
I think it would only make it worse. Whereas
came back, yeah.
The Crusades could at least be surprising.
A bit better.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, bottom it goes. Because it's shit.
It's not shit.
It's shit.
It's great.
It's shit. The animation made it slightly better. At least you can watch it and it's like, oh, it's not just boring.
So, the Gunfighters, one of my favourite stories of all time. Wow.
I like it. And yeah, I do agree we would probably lose a bit of again, it's like the visual comedy thing. I think we would lose something if it was missing.
It's not just the visual comedy. Everyone's so into playing a western.
Yes.
Like the way Doc Holliday just like guns that guy down, like just like barely moving. And Doc Holliday has such style. Just the whole thing just oozes with fun.
No, absolutely.
And I think like the song that it has really works with the visual still intact. I think
Yes,
the song would get so much more annoying.
Yeah, if it was a reconstruction. Yeah.
I want to place this.
What?
I'm wanting to pop it below the edge of destruction.
What?
At a push.
How?
The Gunfighters is utterly unique. A historical story, of which we're not going to get many more in the show. Like, it is a pure,
from this point, yeah.
It's a pure historical.
Comedy, yeah.
It's a pure historical comedy.
But we've already had that, but anyway.
And it's by far the best. It's in the grand tradition of Robots of Sherwood, Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks, Unicorn and the Wasp. There's just such a fun to it. It's such a delightful episode and it's so unique.
You would hate where I would place this.
Where would you place it?
That's the thing I'm trying to figure out. I'll put it underneath the rescue. But I know you won't agree, so...
Right, this is going to be tricky.
What, just for a laugh?
No, right, okay. So, like, obviously it's very much in the performances and the sets that it has its value, I guess.
Yeah, because it wouldn't work as an audio, I do agree with that.
So we're trying to work out how much we value it, and you don't like it, do you?
I used to not like it. When I watched it last time with Linda, if you are watching this, she was having a fucking hit with it. She loved it, because she was enjoying it, I was like, do you know what? I'm kind of warming up to this. This is actually quite fun, isn't it? But to me personally, if it was missing, I don't think we're missing much. But anyway.
Oh, it's so good. Just everyone's having so much fun.
Personal opinion coming in.
British people playing a western.
Americans.
It's like, yeah, they're just having so much fun. It's like, I never thought ever in my career I'd be able to act in a western, but Doctor Who is the gift that just keeps on giving. It's so delightful. I would...
and you'd really rate that above the first ever story? Really?
No, maybe we could put it below the Wet Planet?
Where's the Web Planet? Yeah.
Think how much it would ruin it to have the song keep recurring. At the moment it's amazing, but without that, the whole story falls apart. Yes!
Because I want that above.
There you go, you precious...
Got master fun.
The Savages!
Our next animation. So, kind of hard to judge it right now, but yeah.
Okay, the Savages. I think it has one thing of value.
What's that?
It's the person in blackface who's acting like Hartnell because he's absorbed Hartnell's brain.
That would be really good to see.
That would be great
Despite
to see.
the blackface, it would be good to see him act like Hartnell. Well, the only two things I had to put down for it was it's the last story to feature Peter Purves as Stephen Taylor.
I don't think that matters.
Do you think?
I don't think he stands out in it.
This doesn't really matter, but it's just interesting. This is the first Doctor Who story to have an overall title rather than each episode having individuals, and is also the first to feature a next week caption at the end of the last episode announcing the title of the new story starting next week. So this is the first time where it's just known as episode 1, 2, 3, 4 and not as like a holiday for the Doctor or shit like that. So for me, like in terms of importance, apart from Stephen's departure, which we can have some of the scene anyway.
Do we?
Yeah, we do. It's like him looking off at like Dodo and the Doctor and then he walks away. We do have a scene.
Cool, I guess we're arguing whether that gets lost.
Lost, yeah. Which, it's not like a very well directed goodbye scene anyway, so...
I'd place this above the Crusade.
To be,
Like, what performances are going to be good in this?
well, this is the thing. I mean, I love the Savages. It's one of my favourite Hartnells, but
Ooh.
yeah, it is. It's like it's my third or fourth favourite Hartnell. It's very it's really high for me. So I'm looking forward to the animation, but I feel like the animation might sour my opinion because it's got that mystery to it and the reconstruction and the audio. Like, to me, this is like Through from the Deep, where I think it's better without its visuals, just because mystery. So
Yeah, I can't see it being...
because I think the visual comedy and underrepresentation is more important. But yeah, I'd stick it.
Below the Crusade.
Well,
I'm kind of curious about the Crusade. There are people who deliver performances in that could be really good. The Savages, who's going to be good in that? Jano, that's it.
okay, we'll put it above Celestial Toymaker. If I can lift it.
Let me help you.
There we go. Oh, this is a tough one.
Yeah, the War Machines. You were saying you can never imagine this being lost. It's hard to imagine what it would be like not existing.
Yeah. I cannot imagine it as a telestamp reconstruction.
The War Machines are cool.
They are. See, this is the thing. To me, I think this relies on visual importance of being good. Like, I think...
Yeah, like the Doctor stepping forward.
That's the scene I was going to mention. That is the scene that I always remember from it, and I would hate to lose that. For me, well, it's also the first appearance of Ben and Polly. Last appearance of Dodo.
I think that's very valuable to have Ben and Polly's first appearance because...
all the other stories are missing.
It defines their characters very well.
I think, I would agree with that. It defines their characters the best way, I think, rather than the rest of their era. I think that's what you really get to know them the best.
Yeah.
It's probably their best one, actually. I think it relies a lot on its visuals, to be honest, because I think if it was a reconstruction, I think it would just come across as like this generic, like, robot sci-fi story that, you know, like Doctor Who's kind of already done before, whereas with its visuals, with the London scenes and then when they're in the nightclub and Dodo being controlled, it's just, and like the press office stuff, it's got the post office tower, it's got, like, it relies on those visuals to elevate it, I think.
Yeah, last time I watched it I really didn't enjoy it, but I've also enjoyed it in the past. Where would you place it? I'm like not as enamoured with it as I used to be.
No, that's fair.
I would probably place it above the Sensorites.
I would put it just above Keys of Marinus.
Bullshit.
Keys of Marinus. Keys of Marinus. Bullshit.
How dare you? I really like the Keys of Marinus. Like, its visuals are so important to it. I guess you don't like it as much.
No.
How are we gonna solve this?
Okay, should we just put it above Sensorites?
Can we?
Yeah, if you want.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's fine. Again, it's good representation of doing a story on a cheap budget, so...
Alright.
Oh, boring piece of shit next.
Alright, you say boring, but I think it would... If it were found, I think it would have a reappraisal.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't, but okay.
I enjoy Ben in it. I think he's got a lot
Shirtless Ben.
He's shirtless?
Yeah, he's do you remember the telesnap? He's got his shirt
Let's
on.
just place this on. Okay, how long is he shirtless for?
Well, we don't have the visual stuff. Do you know if I were talking about missing stuff and you just asked me how long is he shirtless for? I wouldn't know that because the no footage exists of it, but let's assume...
When is he shirtless in it?
Let's assume 10 seconds. It's after they land and they go and get changed into pirate gear, apart from the Doctor, obviously.
Right.
So we got shirtless Ben, anyway.
Yeah. Alright.
Well, this is my least favourite Hartnell story.
It's got action in it. That sucks when it's reconstructed.
Yeah, it doesn't come across well at all, obviously. So.
I think it could be a really good scene if we actually were able to see it.
my notes there's only 3, but this is Ben and Polly's first trip in the TARDIS, so their first travel. The title sequence film is used to represent the space-time vortex as seen on the TARDIS scanner screen in episode 1 for the first time. This is the first time you see the vortex being used as the travelling, which is pretty cool. With the story title, writer's credit and episode number captions overlaid in black on the swirling patterns. It was during production of this serial that William Hartnell met with Innes Lloyd to discuss his future with the series. It was mutually but reluctantly on Hartnell's part decided that Hartnell should leave the role. The only real thing I think this has going for it is because I would like to see if Hartnell's performance changes once he knows that information. I imagine he still gave it his 110%, but I'd like to see was there any sort of difference in them?
Like watching Pertwee once the Master had died.
Yeah, because he does change a bit after that. So
I can't actually tell, but it's interesting to watch for it.
Just very quick, I think when it comes to season 11, you can tell he's feeling that loss of Joe being gone and the Master, obviously Roger being killed. So.
Is that why the Time Warrior sucks?
Yes, that's why it sucks. Lynn would agree with you on that.
Yes!
She's just not a big fan of it.
It's naff.
No, it's not. It's great. Anyway,
Right,
but
Smugglers.
Apart from that, apart from maybe seeing Hartnell's performance change, I don't.
I think it would gain more value. I put it above Galaxy 4 maybe, because I think it would, I don't know, maybe below Galaxy 4. I'd put it somewhere around there, because I think it would gain value from being found. I don't think it would be the greatest story ever, but I think it would have a reappraisal. You've got Ben being really assertive and inventive with how he goes about stuff,
That's true.
He's just kind of left to fend for himself, whereas the Highlanders has Polly fending for herself, which is really interesting.
Which is good stuff. Yeah, I put it under the Myth Makers.
Okay, sure.
That's where I put it. So roughly in the same area.
A lot of white down to below, and then as we go up, this should be whites and this should be whites, and then we got that. I guess maybe what we can take from this is the best story survived. The 10th Planet.
Yes, Hartnell's last story.
I have a hot take for this one.
And what was that?
The Doctor's regeneration, I think we would be better off had we not seen it. Because Troughton's regeneration in the War Games is so evocative, and every regeneration after that is so different.
Yeah.
The actual visuals for the regeneration for the first one, in 10th Planet, suck.
You think?
They're just a bit naff, and if we didn't have it, we'd be like, oh my god, what could it be? What would it be like? It would be so much better in our heads than actually what it was.
Well, I do agree it's not the best regeneration, but obviously because it's the first one, it is special in that sense, and I think, see, this is the problem. I think visually, maybe if it was lost, we would have that sort of maybe it looks like this or that. However, I'm just going to throw this in. Please don't tell me that you prefer the regeneration from Pertwee to Tom. That just simple fade and that's it.
I don't remember that.
Oh, okay, right, because this is better than that, even though they're similar in terms of the way they fit.
There's some atrocious regenerations in Classic Who.
Binding your head on the console and changing your face even though you're in the costume. Anyway,
you've got some facts to spit.
Well, not facts, but again, the real in my opinion, 10th Planet is overrated. I don't think it's really an amazing story, but there's a lot of the important things are the first appearance of the Cybermen, of course. That's probably the best Cybermen.
Yeah.
The last appearance of William Hartnell as the Doctor in his original run, of course. The very first appearance of Patrick Troughton as the Doctor, but we have the scene. But we're not judging it on that. The first ever time we see regeneration, renewal, brackets, I have put that down, because it was known as renewal, but we do have the entire scene existing. Now again, we're not basing it on that, but it's just in terms of...
Well, if we rate this down low, that means we're willing to lose the
regeneration. So for me, personally, the two things I was going for, Hartnell's last performance and the Cybermen.
Okay, Hartnell's last performance is sort of value, but also like the surviving episodes that we have, I don't get much special from it.
I think in the audio of episode 4, I think I can feel the difference. But
yeah. Oh, you mean like episode 4 is different?
Yes, what I mean by that is like, I do agree in the first 2 parts, maybe he's not all that different. Episode 3, obviously, Hartnell collapsed during production, so he's away in a bed as the first Doctor. But I think in episode 4, especially when you watch the animation, I don't know, just in me audio-wise, I feel that difference, like, that's him coming back in and giving it his 110% before he goes for good.
Okay.
To me, like, because of his legacy and what he started in that, like, it is very important that we have that.
I don't have huge faith that it is going to be particularly compelling, but that's just because I've seen the episodes before.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, obviously the interesting thing here is there's only 1 episode missing, but
I highly, highly, highly value the Cybermen in this story.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the story.
Even though
good.
they're not really in it. That's the thing as well.
The story isn't that good, but the Cybermen, I think the best thing about Cybermen is how they speak, so
yes,
we keep that anyway, and how
the audio,
how they look is amazing, and we would get a lot less of that if we only had telesnaps, because like, would we have their human hands, would we see their human eyes behind?
Yeah, that was just so creepy, yeah.
Like, I think that's what's of value to me. It's like the actual story, I don't care about it. It's just such a significant story.
Because it's the first appearance of arguably the second most iconic monsters, obviously. So for me, it's really got the Cybermen going for it, and Hartnell's like just being his last story.
Yeah.
For placing it.
Is it worth more than Marco Polo?
I was gonna say about there as well. I think I put it above Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, you agree with that? Yeah.
100%.
Just because, again, interesting to see a different actor take the lead role, I think, and 7 episodes, I've just fixed. That's where I'd sit with it.
Okay. And
the big one.
Before we regenerate and summon new cloves inexplicably. Power of the Daleks. Now, when people say that the 10th planet is the most important story of Doctor Who because it has the regeneration, they're wrong. It's the power of the Daleks because it's the change, what Troughton does with it, and that's what made Doctor Who survive, not just the regeneration. Having that original performance from Troughton is so important.
It is important.
Right, let's put this at the top before we agree that it's at the top.
I agree it's at the top. But why is it important? Well, like, none of my biasism is coming in here, but this is my favourite story of all time. In all of Doctor Who medium, TV, audiobook, whatever, this is my favourite. But taking it out of a story, it is so important because it is the story that it literally, like, do you know, people say to this day, like, see when you talk to any other actors about Doctor Who, like Colin Baker, Peter Davison, Paul McGann, Anneke Wills, do you know what most of them say? Patrick Troughton had the hardest job.
Yeah.
Of being a character, and I completely agree with that.
Oh, and just
he had to show that
everyone who plays the Doctor also
seems to be inspired by him.
Yeah,
people always bring up Troughton. It's just they all sort of grew up with him, but like people always say like, oh, my favourite was Troughton. Like, he's just got that grasp on a lot of them that, you know, I think it's because he's shown that importance.
I think this is Troughton's best acted story.
You think?
It's my favourite performance from him.
He's so weird in it, it's brilliant.
And I absolutely love him playing the recorder, which he does quite a lot.
Yeah, which is basically his way of talking. For me, like, because when I was doing notes for this, I've not put for 10th Planet, you know, episode 4 is the most sought after, because people still say that. My first note for Power is...
bullshit.
Yeah. For my first note for Power is, this is easily the most sought after missing story of them all. It is. It's the first full adventure of Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor. If this was recovered, we would have 7 episodes of Troughton interacting with the Daleks, because we've only got Evil Part 2, but again, that will apply a bit more later with Evil, because I think it's just a shame at the moment we've only got 1 episode of him with the Daleks existing.
The Daleks are at their most interesting here.
Yes. It's a story that proved and shown that it could continue with completely changing the actor playing the main role. Just a random side thing, this is the first story to show full body shots of the mutants from inside the Dalek casings. This is the first time you see the mutant in film.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
The living Dalek creatures are seen clearly for the first time as amorphous blobs covered in a multitude of tentacles, which are capable of independent movement without their shells. And this is a cool reference. Nevertheless, Ben still describes what he has seen of the Dalek mutant as a claw, harking back to the original appearance of the mutant glimpsed in the Daleks, who was only seen through the arm, which was stunted and claw-like, but still denoted a more humanoid appearance than later became standard. So it's basically a reference to like the claw that came out underneath the cover. This you're gonna love. You know that bit in this, just talking about the animation here, but you know that bit in the animation that you really like where he just stares at Reagan
right up to his face.
Yeah, and obviously you don't like that they changed it to a magnifying glass. Right.
Special edition made it worse in every way.
The magnifying glass was not in the original because that was the scene, and you're gonna like this, right?
Magnifying glass.
So the magnifying glass, that was never there. So they basically changed something that wasn't there.
When did he use the magnifying glass? In
the special edition. So they changed it to that in the animation, remember?
Ah, goddamn.
But basically what I'm getting at is here, that bit where he's staring, that was there. This is in my notes. In one scene, the Doctor is able to determine the power dynamic of the colony by observing the officials' faces. This is based on an event that happened during production, when the staff were discussing how to portray the new Doctor in comparison to William Hartnell's. Jerry Davis noticed Patrick Troughton silently observing a meeting between various staff members and dismissed everyone else so that Troughton could tell him what he had observed about the staff's power dynamic.
Ha!
Davis found this event interesting enough to incorporate into David Whittaker's writing. That's a brilliant piece of acting I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Well, because of how Troughton was being at a meeting, they thought, yeah, we'll put that in his performance. That's brilliant. That is so brilliant.
Yeah, it's such a good story. In its defence of not getting restored, I think the original animation is pretty perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect, yeah. Because it's so accurate. The only other things as well is this is the only story introducing a new Doctor in the classic series to run longer than 4 episodes.
No.
So if we get this recovered, we'd also have 6, which is nice. And this is the only classic Dalek story in which you see them pretending to be benevolent. So obviously being servants and, being nice and that, which, again, bringing that point back up earlier, Terry Nation critiqued this, saying that they got the writing of the Daleks all wrong and basically saying, he basically went to David Whittaker and says, I don't like how you've made them pretend to be sweet and nice. That's the fucking point. And in my opinion, David Whittaker writes them better than Terry Nation. I think he does. I think David the Daleks... This
is the peak of Dalek writing.
This is the scariest that the Daleks have ever been. The way they talk to people, the way they mock people and... No, do you not think that? Really?
No, the scariest the Daleks have ever been, and you're going to laugh at this. Destiny of the Daleks.
No.
Told you you'd laugh, right?
No, exactly.
Destiny of the Daleks. Their voices in Destiny of the Daleks are terrifying, and especially with the context of the Time War, seeing Romana getting terrified by them is amazing. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that. Part of the Daleks, amazing. Like, there's nothing that's going to top this in terms of what's on this list.
In terms of what's important, yeah. I mean, the very first story is there, of course, but to me, seeing the story... I hate saying this, but to me, seeing the story that changed its lead actor and shown that something can continue differently, but still the same thing, I think that's more important than...
Yeah, this is almost the start of Doctor Who in a way.
Really? Yeah, that's a good... When you think about it like that, it actually is, because it's the first, I get what you... Because obviously, in these stories, regeneration was never thought of we can just change our lead actor. So, you're right, yeah.
Okay, should we take a quick moment at this stage to just comment on how we feel about this? First of all, the Daleks being at the 4th top. Ridiculous. Let's put it all the way down here. Let's bring the arc up a bit. Obviously, Keys of Marinus, let's bring that up.
No. But I'm trying to get my opinion, and let's To be honest, I actually mostly agree with this. I wouldn't really change anything, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, No, I'm quite happy with that. Actually, no, I'd bring that quite low.
Gunfighters, no!
Apart from that, maybe the Web Planet a bit, and maybe these three just down a bit. But apart from that,
I'd put the Keys of Marinus up a bit, but I think I'm surprised at how much we've been able to come together and.
Yeah, and agree. Like, well, I think it's because we're clumping different stuff together. Like, okay, visual comedy, like, kind of goes like, here. Where's the Romans? Sorry, there, like with them two, and.
This is just 4 comedy stories, isn't it?
I wouldn't really say it's a comedy, but I know what you're getting. I know what you're getting at. It is a clump of comedy stories, but I think they rely on visual importance.
And then you've got just the first 3 stories right at the top.
Yeah, which is very interesting that we've put them that high.
They do tell a story cohesively together.
Yeah, exactly. It's a story across 13 episodes. So.
And it's magic in that way.
It is magic, yeah.
But, I mean, the Daleks is not a story that deserves to be that high. It gets there by historical accident.
Well, if it wasn't for that fucking thing, this show wouldn't be here today. But
it's like what they say about Ringo Starr, he was just lucky to be there. I hear he's good as well, but like, it's what they say about him also, just...
Yeah, so that, okay. But, I mean, yeah, that's... Yeah.
Alright, now we're going to regenerate. Do you want to punch me so that I regenerate and I'll punch you? Ooh, you missed. Quick, slap me. That regeneration.
Very rough.
You slapped the hair off my head.
Exactly. Exactly. At the back, yes, I did. Oh my god.
What have you done to me?
My hair slightly grew a bit longer.
I was beautiful. And now this? What even is this?
Yeah,
Might as well just have no hair at all.
I've got some here for you. Slightly grow out a bit.
Geese it.
Attach. Diet green.
Alright.
Right.
So, the powwow of the Daleks.
Well, we went over it, yeah.
Tip top.
Tip top, yeah.
Lovely jubbly, even though it has one of the best animations ever. Like, totally.
Better than some of the ones from this lot, I would say.
Alright, now we're gonna do the Highlanders. I'll take the high road and you'll take the low road, and we'll have to put it somewhere in the middle.
I don't know.
Okay, so
yeah.
Highlanders.
Well, it's Jamie's first story, so it's very important for that.
Oh shit, I didn't even remember that.
That was his first story.
And it's like... he wasn't planned to be a companion.
No, he wasn't.
It was how compelling he was in this story that made him a companion.
Yeah, he's very different. Yeah,
and I don't find him very compelling in this.
Not?
So I think visually will make such a big difference.
Probably, yeah. I mean, the way they wrote the script was he was like meant to leave at the end, so he's very different as opposed to even Underwater Menace and Moonbase. He's very different actually.
It's also kind of inappropriate how the TARDIS team just kidnap him without. They don't give him any hints.
No, he's just like, yeah, fucking come along with us.
Come into this box, little Scottish boy.
Exactly.
All right.
Become the second Doctor's gay best buddy.
So not only might this be Jamie's best outing, who knows?
What story?
Well,
Well, we can't see that, I suppose.
We don't know how good Jamie was.
He does sound different, so...
We don't know how good Jamie was in this, and I would love to see that. But also, this is Polly's best story by far.
100%, yeah. And she gets to do things.
Yeah, like, it's really hard to attach to Polly as a character because we see so little of her doing anything,
yeah, exactly.
ever.
Yeah.
So I think... And it is, like, quite a fun story, but I think it is elevated by just having Polly and Jamie have such... important performances here.
I mean, Jamie's Jamie in it. Polly, again, with that, I can't remember the woman's name, but yeah, obviously she goes off to the Highlands and they both kidnap that soldier, obviously.
Yeah.
It's really good and fun, they're actually doing things. It's Polly's so good in it. But I like the stuff with Ben and the second Doctor, because obviously the Doctors pretend to be German for it, most of it. Dr. Von Wehr, remember? Even though you can't hear that on audio, it's still, I imagine it was a fun watched on screen.
Does the Doctor do some cross-dressing in
Yeah,
this?
he does. He dresses up as like an old maid, yeah.
So I think, it's an important trans moment in the whole of Doctor Who.
In the whole of Doctor Who.
So above Power of the Daleks, would you say?
No. No.
Yeah, okay. So realistically, I'd put it pretty fucking high.
Really?
Jamie, I get to know why people loved Jamie.
Do you not like Jamie?
I do, but I could really do with knowing why everyone else loved him initially.
But he's so good. I mean, do you know what? The only significant thing is to me anyway, it's the first appearance of Jamie, obviously. However, this was Fraser Hines' favourite story he did, because it led him into Doctor Who.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, and that was kind of it, and it was the last pure historical story, and it was the first one that was wiped. So, chances of it coming back are pretty slim.
That's tragic.
Yeah, it's tragic. Yeah,
I think it's one of I quite enjoy it.
Do you?
Yeah, watching the reconstructions, and it would be so much better if we actually had it. Don't we have Jamie fighting?
Very brief scenes of it, but they only no, they're from War Games. Remember when he ends back up?
Was that not taken from?
No. So what they've done in the reconstruction is they've took those bits from War Games and sort of try to give an interpretation if that's what it looked like on screen. So it's kind of close enough. Yeah. For me, I wasn't a big fan of it for a long time, but it was on. The more I watch now, the more I like it. It's a good, fun run around historical, but for me, it's Jamie's first appearance. What it has going for it, and I would not put it at the top at all.
I would have it above the Aztecs, below the Romans.
Well, visual comedy is really important, and that I think you could tell how good Barbara's performance is through the audio anyway. So
yeah,
and concerning the other stuff, yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd put it just there, 100%.
Yes.
Let's go. This is gonna get harder to do as it goes on.
We said that last time.
I know.
Right. The Underwater Menace.
Nothing in the world can stop me now.
Yeah, nothing in the world can stop me now.
Exactly. Best character in all Doctor Who.
Really?
Nah, I'm joking.
Okay, so what do we like about the Underwater Menace? Obviously, that there's
camp.
The amazing cliffhanger.
Oh yes, of Zaroff. There's the swimming scene that goes on for 5 minutes with really annoying music.
Oh. Yeah, I would love to see that swimming scene.
No, we do. We have it.
We do?
Yeah, that's in episode 3. It's when the fish people are gonna team up against.
Oh, is it just really bad and I don't remember it?
Probably, yeah, because the music's really shit.
Yeah, the animation does.
The animation trims that scene down. Actually, they trimmed down the audio because they knew it went on for way too long.
It's probably for the best. I do think the animation is better than the actual story. So,
I'd agree with that.
Despite that legendary cliffhanger,
yeah.
I don't think this benefits from being.
People don't really like this one to begin with, so I think it's gotten more praise now since the animation. But yeah,
I think it's cute. I think it's a nice wee story.
It's cute. It's a nice wee story. I think it's fun. I don't hate it at all. But it's not like
it doesn't exactly have the chomblies or anything like that.
No, yeah, because the fish people are barely in it as well. They're in 2 scenes and that's pretty much it. They're not. People remember them for it, and they're not really in it at all.
Ooh, where would you place it? I don't like the sets in it and stuff, There's
You don't like the sets?
No.
Nah, they're pretty boring. The animation again makes them better, I'd say. Though I don't like how in the animation we're in a cave. Right, we're supposed to be in a cave. Why is it so fucking bright? That's because they fired Rob Ritchie and there's no compositing in it anyway.
Truly tragic. Yeah, I don't I don't. I really hope this isn't. This is really low down on my list of things that I won't discover.
So I'd agree with that.
Like,
There's a story draft I've got here for you. In an early draft of the story, Zarv's motivation to blow up the Earth stemmed from his being driven mad by the deaths of his wife and children in a car crash. What? Sorry, what? I was shocked to read that. I was like, what?
I mean,
where's he living where there's fucking cars?
Also, like, yeah, wouldn't they be like drowned?
Exactly, they would be drowned. What? I suppose it's an early draft, but still, I was like, huh? What? Sorry. Yeah, that's why.
I mean, his motivation isn't the greatest.
No, it's not. I mean, he just wants.
It's like, the true ultimate scientific ambition
of supreme power. Yeah.
Blowing up the world. Now, okay, where are we going to put this? I think it's going to be one of the lowest. I would put it at the bottom.
No, I don't agree with that. Sorry.
I like it as a story, but I don't really want it back.
No, I get what you're saying. I would put it just I'd put it just above the Celestial Toymaker.
Oh, all right. Go on.
Take it.
Very quickly. Right.
Oh yeah, by the way, today I got the Savages, so
Yes.
now we have the actual Savages box.
Yeah.
I got it how many days early? 2 days.
2 days early, yeah.
That's how important I am to the makers.
I've not even pre-ordered it.
They make sure I get an advanced copy.
Exactly, so you can tell us how shit it is. Nah, I'm sure it'll be pretty good. Same team that animated Underwater Menace and Evil, so I think it should be good.
I guess we'll see. All right, the Moonbase.
Yes, which I wouldn't really be all that bothered if it got recovered, because I think the animation's so good as it is. So
Yeah, the animation's really good. So like there isn't a great loss there, but also we have to be considering we'd lose every episode, so it wouldn't just be how many episodes are animated on this?
Episodes 1 and 3 are animated, 2 and 4 exist.
So yeah, like I think, episode 1 where they're like jumping on the moon with their like low gravity fun
and strings and harnesses. I mean, yeah, I'd like to see that.
That looks great on the web planet. Why not here?
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. It's probably the same technique. So
I think the massive physicality of the sets with the big thing,
the gravitron.
Yeah, the gravitron
that nearly killed Troughton.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like a few feet away from when the thing actually collapsed.
Jesus.
He was that close to being fucking squashed. Yeah. End of Doctor Who.
I think the cliffhanger, it has a really good cliffhanger with
what one?
The one where it turns out the Cyberman's in the room with them.
Oh, that's a great cliffhanger. Yeah, I love that. The build up to it's amazing.
Yeah,
the one I love is when they're walking on the moon, doing the moonwalk.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I love that cliffhanger. I love the music as well for that. But again, yeah, I know we're judging it on. Well, again, I think because of how good we can see it as in episodes 2 and 4, I think it does rely on like good, visuals. Because I imagine as a reconstruction, it probably wouldn't be that gripping. Because to me, this is probably this is the most sneaky the Cybermen have ever been. Lurking in the shadows and.
Yeah, it's the power of the Cybermen.
The hole in the wall. And poison in the sugar.
Yeah, it is a good visual one, and it's the first time they change up what the Cybermen look like, and the Cybermen do look really cool, and this is a really good design.
It's my favourite design of them, 100%.
So you're not thinking it deserves to be that high because you're relying on the animation being this good?
It's hard to look at these because obviously we do have the animation, but it's like I think because we have episodes 2 and 4,
Are we even arguing? Like, should we work out if they even get an animation? Maybe they, like, I feel like we should consider the animations a bit lightly. Like,
no, yeah, well, I'm thinking of episodes 2 and 4 and how good it is. We have the visuals for them, and it looks very pretty. However, it is Jamie's first trip in the TARDIS, even though he's knocked out for most of it. So
that doesn't really count for much.
Doesn't really count for much. However, episode 3 features a rare sequence in which the viewers actually hear the Doctor's thoughts. Yeah, that bit. We can hear that in the audio, obviously.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really still class that as I have, because that, you can tell in the audio.
God, yeah, I always think of this as like a really visual, strong...
And Poly Cocktail. I'd love to see the Cybermen getting thwarted by nail varnish.
I always think of this as a visually really strong one. It is tricky because the animation is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, where are you thinking? Like, I feel like...
Well, my last note is, personally, I don't see this as much of a priority as I think the animation is good enough. But judging it off a story, I don't know. Well, I like it more than...
I think the visuals...
than 10th Planet.
Do work for a lot. Like, it does have a strong physicality to it,
Yeah,
the whole gravitron and the design of the Cybermen is just
so good.
Yeah, I don't know. Where are you thinking of putting it?
I put it. I would put it above Invasion Earth, and I put it above the 10th Planet. I'd say.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I don't think it really, and because I think, I mean, a 7-part over 4. Yeah, I put it above 10th Planet.
So, Mission to the Unknown more important.
It's because it's a prequel to Taskmaster.
Yeah, but it's also got the Varga plants and
exactly.
No.
I'd love to see that transformation.
Alright, lift it up.
Maybe don't try to.
Oh god.
Now it's time for the Snippy Snappy.
The Snippy Snappers. Yes.
The Macra Terror.
Macra Terror.
I think if this was recovered,
people would say it's shit.
I absolutely detest how the Macra look.
Yeah.
And if this was recovered, what if we never got an animation of it, and then all we had was the recovered. We just had the story in all its glory.
Yeah.
I really, really, really don't want this to be rediscovered.
Yeah, no. That again, it's the same thing for me. Because
even if the animation was worse than we actually have it, it wouldn't make it as bad as the actual Macra looked.
I think ever since this came out in 2019, plenty of people have said since then that, what's going to be more of an exciting watch if the 4 episodes ever got recovered, that or the animation. I think the animation will be more of an exciting watch, because if you look at the telesnaps and the surviving clips of Macra Terror, you can really tell it was one of the more really low budget shoddy looking ones, especially that bloody Macra prop. However, the only reason why I would like to see it come back is because I don't know if you knew this, so I'm going to tell you. Do you? Right, the unfeasibly large Macra prop needed to be mounted on a van so it could be moved about.
Yeah,
and was therefore very awkward to manipulate in the studio. Innes Lloyd was unhappy with the work of Shawcraft models and contacted the BBC's visual effects department for guidance as to whether the monster should reasonably have cost the £500 paid to the prop makers. That's how much it cost, £500. That doesn't seem like a lot nowadays, but that probably ate up a good third of their budget.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot considering.
Well, it was a pretty big prop, but it just didn't really do much. But they had to.
How much did the Daleks cost?
The first 4 props were £250.
All of them.
All 4 props were £250.
And the Macra cost
£500. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I'd love to see it being attached to the front of a van.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
but I don't think we really get to see that in shot.
Probably not. But
where are we putting this? Bottom.
Also, don't even remember, it's new title sequence. Even though we can see it, but new title sequence is.
Oh, how exciting!
How exciting!
They just downgraded the quality of the title sequence.
What, by colorizing them?
No, not.
Oh, you don't like the Troughton titles as much as Hartnell's?
Yeah,
as much as Hartnell's,
it's just worse. All right, where are we putting this? Bottom. The bottom. Like the Macra Terror.
Because I wouldn't think it would be as highly regarded if it came back. So
the bottom. It's gonna be so ugly. The Macra, they're like the most ugly props ever.
Yeah, but that has nothing going for it. Sorry.
The Celestial Toymaker, who knows? Maybe
I'd like
there
to
was
see
some cool
comedy.
stuff.
That's boring, but nice location stuff. Point here being as right, the Macra Terror. Would it really be as an exciting watch as all 4 episodes in Underwater Menace or the Savages? Probably not. However, as it goes for the Celestial Toymaker, I mean, fucking hell, we've got episode 4 and Christ.
It's not the worst. It's just
Shit.
it's just the Celestial Toymaker would be better in our minds.
I thought you were gonna say
Celestial Toymaker is better undiscovered, but I actively don't want the Macra Terror to be rediscovered. I don't want the Macra pop in my mind.
Right, can we put it above Celestial Toymaker?
No.
What?
No, justify it.
The way your eyebrows raised. That has boring sets. And
the Macra Terror doesn't. I guess there's some interesting stuff to the Macra Terror. Maybe sure, whatever, fine.
mounted to the front of a van. That's a good reason to bring it back.
You owe me one for that.
Do you know what I love? All the animated ones are at the top so far. Most, no, quite a few of them are.
You owe me for placing the Macra Terror so high.
Oh, like two down, yeah. Right.
The Faceless Ones.
It's a bit of a tricky one, this, I think.
It's a gorgeous animation, but it's such a good story. I want it. I want it bad.
Yeah, so do I.
I crave so much to have the actual original faces of the Faceless Ones.
Yeah, not the fucking eyes and the little mouth.
It looked the gnarliest shit ever.
Yeah, I know.
I want it.
Yeah,
I
so
want
do
it. I want it in motion.
I mean, going off what we have of episodes 1 and 3, it's very well paced. It's very atmospheric as well, and has really lovely direction. It's also Malcolm Hulke's first script, who
Oh.
also wrote Silurian, Sea Devils,
Yeah.
Colony in Space, and Frontier in Space.
It has one of the best resolutions in all of Doctor Who.
See, a lot of people shit on the resolution, but I yeah, they do.
What, turning the lower down people against the higher ups?
Yeah.
That's
People-
the best.
People just think it's very anticlimactic, but I'm with you on that. I really like the ending because the doctors just basically went, well, yous are fucked, aren't you? So here's some of my advice, and yous go and do that, you know. But what I like is, in it, the chameleons, they're not really the bad guys. They're just trying to rebuild their race. Yeah, they do shit things to, get there. But at the end, they realise that it probably won't work out, and they step down and go, fine, we'll try and do something else. It's just nice. It's nice when a villain sort of changes their mind about what they're doing. Because they realise it won't work.
I guess we have someone who was set up to be a companion.
Samantha Briggs,
and then didn't get to be a companion.
Yeah, and they begged her to do it, and she said no.
So I think that would be cool to have.
All 6 episodes of Samantha.
Yeah, see her actually be a
companion.
what they wanted.
Well, from going off the audio and that, I like her. She's tough and she stands up for herself a lot. So I like Samantha. She's a good companion.
It's tricky. It's not visually the most astounding story, but I think it does. I would love to have it.
The only significant thing in terms of actual show change and stuff is Ben and Polly's last story, but they're barely in it.
Yeah.
Because their contracts, I don't know if you know this, their contracts are meant to end with Evil of the Daleks Part 2.
No.
They were going to leave during Evil. However, they didn't see the point in that. For characters just randomly, like Dodo and War Machines. So what Annika and Michael agreed to do was, because they were only contracted for halfway through this, they thought, let's spread our scenes out so they're only in episode 1, a bit of 2, and the end of episode 6. So it's still technically all equal time.
Yeah, what's Ben doing in this story?
He's looking for Polly, and he's in the photo booth, and they're all smiling at pretending to have their photos taken. He doesn't do a lot.
The scene at the start where they're running around on the actual tarmac of the runway.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Nice, yeah.
I don't know. There's a quiet visual power to this story.
Oh god, yeah, because it doesn't have a lot of music either. So it's got, I mean, on audio it sounds very creepy, but I think people just sort of slate it and be like, oh, it's 6 boring episodes in an airport. It's like, no, it's not. It's what it does well about an airport is it's the uncertainty of an airport. You're stuck in there. You're you're relying on that clock that you keep looking at, and you might catch something in the corner of your eye that's a bit mysterious. You know, it has good atmosphere.
It has good atmosphere. There's some sort of indescribable visual power to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, where are we putting it?
I think it's gonna go quite high.
Yeah, I definitely think it should be above the War Machines.
How funny, concerned they're both they take place on the same day.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking a bit higher.
Yeah. No, that's the lowest I'd put it.
Lowest you'd put it.
Oh, I love it a lot. It has good animation. I really want to see their faces.
So do I. Because we don't have a lot of publicity pictures either of them. So we've got like one.
Yeah.
And very few telesnaps. We don't have a lot of visual of them.
Honestly, I think I would just put it above the War Machines because I think the Keys of Marinus has a lot of visual stuff that I want. The Aztecs would fall apart if
There's a
we didn't.
reconstruction.
Even as an animation, I think the Aztecs
You think, really?
would fall apart. Like.
Okay, I owe you one, so we'll put it above the War Machines.
Wait, where do you want to put it?
Well, I was thinking above the Gunfighters, but but I owe you one, don't I? So
But I love the Faceless Ones. How can I do this? But that's what I'm doing. Oh,
I owe you one, so
Right.
shit.
Evil of the Daleks, what is your instinct? I would say it will end up about here. I think it'll end up just above the Moonbase.
Right. Again, it's hard to judge because I'm looking at a cover that has animation on it, so I'm thinking about that. But yeah, to be honest, people regard it as a big classic, and I do love it to bits. However, yeah, I think the animation, like Macra Terror, is just really superb, and
Yeah, the animation's very good.
it just kind of I'm happy with it. So
How much survives of the story at the moment?
episode 2, which is the only Patrick Troughton Dalek episode we have, which is a shame. It's a real shame that that's the only time you can actually see him interact with them.
Yeah, like I do feel like obviously the Dalek prop of the Emperor Dalek or whatever they are.
Yeah, the Dalek Emperor. Yeah.
That would be amazing to see.
Yeah.
I do think the animation probably does it plenty fine though.
Yeah, you think?
Like what's good about this? It's Victoria's first story, and she's rubbish in it. She's barely a character.
it was meant to be the final end for them, so I'd love to see how that looked. We do have a behind the scenes film of the final end, but not the actual scenery, so we don't exactly know what it looks like. So I'd love to see how they directed the Daleks, last appearance on television possibly.
Yeah.
First appearance of the Dalek Emperor in the final end. I never knew this. In 1993, readers of Dreamwatch Bulletin voted The Evil of the Daleks as the best ever Doctor Who story in a poll for the series' 30th anniversary.
Wait, so when was the 30th anniversary?
1993. So people thought this was the best story at the time.
1993, so that was after all of the
classic series, yeah.
So were people just being nostalgic, or was this actually
probably seen sought after because it was missing, so
yeah.
But that's what people voted it as.
Yeah, no, if it has such a good...
No, yeah, exactly.
I think there is probably a lot that we don't get from the animation.
No, yeah, I was going to say that.
There's one thing that really frustrates me in the animation, which is the massive beards. That's just...
Oh, Maxwell, yeah, it looks rubbish. It looks nowhere near as, just detailed as it should be in the...
Yeah.
He's got an amazing crazy beard in the original.
I do want that beard.
that beard.
and you know what? If people voted it really highly, I mean... that does speak quite a lot.
Well, it's Victoria's first appearance. This is just a random fact. Sorry, like Peter Parr was saying, Master Plan was tosh. This is just a random throwaway thing. Deborah Walton recalled that the Dalek operators would often prank her by using their plungers on her in rude ways when her back was turned. Apparently.
Oh
dear.
That's not good.
That's not good. No, I just thought I'd throw that in because I never knew it.
Yay.
Fraser says he'd prefer to see this one come back.
Yeah, I think...
Even though Highlanders is most wanted, he did say he'd prefer...
Jamie, I think, has a really good showing in this.
He's very good in
and
this. Because he's, obviously... He's he's not thinking under the Doctor. He's thinking for himself, obviously. You know.
Yeah, he's turning on the Doctor.
He doesn't trust him quite yet at this point in the show either. Like they're just getting to know each other.
Okay, I'm being persuaded. Like Jamie does have a good showing, and like the animation's really good and it has good lighting, and I think like the Daleks probably look amazing in it. But
well, Alpha, Beta, and Omega.
Yeah.
Trains. I want to see that.
Yeah, they are some of the greatest Daleks of all time.
Yeah, they are. Before we put it somewhere in, I just thought you'd be interested. So you know how they had individual titles in the early days?
Yes.
David Whittaker initially gave them individual titles.
Ooh.
Episode 6 doesn't have an individual title for some reason. But those for the other 6 episodes were in order: To Set a Trap, A Test of Skill, The Human Factor, and The End of the Daleks. These titles would later be adapted as the chapter names of the 2023 novelisation written by Fraser Hines, with episode 6 being given the title of Escape to Danger. So Fraser gave it a title even though it was missing one.
Wow, those are bad titles.
They are shit titles, aren't they?
No wonder they were just like, nah, the evil of the Daleks.
The only good one's The Human Factor, I think.
Yeah, and even that, like, the evil of the
so
Daleks
generic.
is better.
Yeah.
Okay, where are we thinking of putting this? I think it goes around the Faceless Ones.
I would...
I'd pop it just below it.
Really?
Really.
I'd put it above Keys of Marinus.
Why? I love the Keys of Marinus. Fine.
You get 7 episodes.
You get 6 episodes in the Keys of Marinus.
Yeah, you get 7 with People of the Daleks. I nearly done the wrong thing there.
You nearly did the right thing there.
There we go.
Alright, the Tumblewumble, the Tomb of the Cybermen.
The Tumblewumble.
So, Tommy is, I think you've...
Sorry.
I think you've told me that, like, people were expecting it to look amazing, and when it got discovered, they were, like, disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, given that I didn't go through that process, I just watched it in all its glory.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of...
It's hard to judge that.
It is, I think, one of the visually greatest classic Doctor Who stories.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, the sets are...
The set for that tomb, that Cyberman tomb, is amazing.
All of the sets are
Not all of them are,
phenomenal.
But just that the height of that and how they actually built that is unbelievable.
Yeah,
on the money they had.
The airiness of the Cybermen from behind the...
Yeah. It's a great scene. I would never want to lose that.
Such physicality in all of it. It's absolutely incredible visually. Like, I imagine if they just tried to do like an animation of this, it would look worse.
You think? Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Like, how do you even make it look better? And you've got like that. I don't know. Like the performance and all the performances are great. You've got Victoria, especially like Troughton and Victoria.
The scene where he's like, nobody in the universe can do it. Yeah, I would never want to lose that. Never want to lose that.
And just the fact
that's my favourite scene of Troughton.
And like the Evil of the Daleks, I barely consider that as a Victoria episode. I pretty much
just starting off.
Because she doesn't feel like Victoria. She just
I'd agree with that.
Feels like a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
This one, she is wily.
Yeah.
She is
Cybermat.
She's out of her depth, but she's still like.
Oh, she's still very strong leading in that. Yeah. She still sticks up for herself.
She wields her intelligence and sneakiness.
And she's an orphan teenager, which is like, God, good on you. For me,
Cybermen are creepy as fuck.
Oh
they really feel like
it's just continuing that great thing from the Moonbase of them being like lurking in the shadows and just
I think this one more than the Moonbase has them feel like the horrifying sort of mechanized humans.
This is the first time we see conversion of like actual metal, because you do see it in the Moonbase, but it's just sort of them being like mind controlled by the Cybermen, whereas in that. Toberman's arm actually gets converted, obviously. So it's the early days of conversion.
I don't remember that.
Do you know? No.
It's so good. Even here, like you see, like the door to the entire tomb.
Yeah. It's a huge door. Yeah.
Like the way it sort of kills the first person, and just the visualness of it.
Yeah, it's quite scary. Yeah.
Now everything about this is amazing.
No, it's 100%, and the Cybermats, and just
The Cybermats are horrifying.
yeah. This is their best story, in my opinion, 100%. Oh, it's their first. It's their first appearance. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's their best appearance.
First and best appearance.
They are terrifying. They
Yeah.
are so fucking disgusting.
Yeah, they are. Just like that little fine, like when the guy's sleeping and it just starts crawling up him. It's like, oh.
Oh yeah, that is kind of hot. Sexy Cybermites.
Sexy.
When do you get that again?
Never. Sexy Cybermites. No, I mean, you've pretty much said everything that I would say for it. I mean, it's a really good, tightly paced 4-parter, relies very well on its visuals, even though, as you said at the start of this, because we had the audio for years before it got recovered, it's like the Web of Fear situation where people were listening to it like, oh, this is really good. This is
Put
really...
your mic at you.
Sorry. Yes, put it in my ear. This is really good. No, it's like the Web of Fear situation where people listen to the audio for this for years and like, oh, this is really good, intense and atmospheric. And then the visuals came back for it and people were like, oh, this is a bit shit. However, as the years have went on, people have came back to it and be like, this is brilliant. The Web of Fear... Well, we'll come on to that, but now people say that Enemy of the World is better than it, and because people say when that came back, the visuals weren't as good. It didn't live up to what they imagined.
I think Fury of the Deep will be a similar. Like, if it ever gets recovered,
It
people will
won't
be
as,
like,
yeah,
oh.
that's why it's probably going to be quite low on my list, I would say, because I don't think people would like it as much. But for Tomb, I mean, you've pretty much said everything. I mean, the two main scenes to me is, again, when they're breaking out, this and the Doctor talking to Victoria.
You mean the underground tomb?
Yeah, the underground.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
It's just amazing for its time.
Right, where are we putting this?
It's going to go high.
Yeah. Okay, so I would put it above the Daleks.
Really?
This is phenomenal. Like, you want visual Doctor Who. Does it get better than this?
It's the early surviving complete Troughton story as well.
The Edge of Destruction is better than this.
No,
It has. I would understand if you put this above Edge of Destruction, though. I wouldn't agree, but I think this deserves to be high up. Oh my god! Let's go! Above Edge of Destruction.
Just because the first ever episode I just see is a bit more important.
Yeah, I think
It's still important.
An Unearthly Child is more important than Tomb of Cybermen.
Yeah.
And I honestly think the caveman story grows on me. I warm to it every time.
It's gone backwards for me the more time has went on, but who knows, I might warm up to it again one day.
The caveman story, when I first tried watching classic Doctor Who, I tried doing it in order and I stopped at the caveman story. And it took me years of building up.
Yeah, I remember you telling me this.
Yeah, to psych myself up so much in order to be prepared for such shite. But honestly, if I had to watch a classic Doctor Who story just now, I would probably choose An Unearthly Child or Destiny of the Daleks.
Okay.
Or Underworld.
Anyway.
Underworld can nosh my Todger any day.
Even though this is boring, I still like this more than Underworld. It's boring. I don't want it back. Well, I do, but...
Okay, the Abominable Snowmen. What we gonna do?
It's fucking boring.
I think...
Even as an animation, this is the thing. I struggled to watch the reconstruction for years and years. I just found it painful to watch every time. And then it got animated and it came out. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? It's actually quite a good story. And then I just watched the animation for the second time last year, and I was concentrating my best on it. I was like, the hell was I on about? This doesn't improve as an animation. This is just as boring as the reconstruction. There's hardly any dialogue. There's no music in it either.
It would be cool to see Padma's Hamburger.
That is the only thing that I would like to see, because the one looks shit in the animation.
What I always liked about it, and what I really crave about getting this back,
first appearance of the Yeti.
Yeah, the Yeti are adorable in this.
Yeah, they are.
The problem is the same with the Trumblies, that they're just drones.
Yeah, they're not the main threat. Yeah.
Before you find out that they're just robotic drones.
Yeah.
They are so cute.
I know. I know.
And then you find out they're just drones, and it's like, oh, they're not as adorable anymore. The small amount of clips that we have of the Yeti are just so
Oh yeah,
hype.
they're like 10-second clips, but yeah, they're very brief. But yeah, they do look cute. Yeah,
They look so good. Like, I would love the Yetis back. I do like this reconstruction.
the animation.
I don't think they do the Yetis much
It's alright.
justice. I
Nah,
don't
they
think
don't. I didn't like how the Yetis looked in
they
the
don't.
animation. They
they-
should be 3D. I think, and they're 2D.
They just don't look very cute.
No.
So, yeah, I guess like what would we actually get? We get
Well, first appearance of the Yeti and the first appearance of the Great Intelligence. Really.
we'd have people blacked up a bit.
The animation improves on.
Yeah, although we still got the voices, but
Yeah, exactly. So it's just
Yeah.
complicated.
So it is hard to argue for this very strongly.
Yeah.
And I think the animation is pretty nice.
It's nice. It's alright. It's serviceable to me. I'd much rather watch it than the reconstruction.
Oh right, okay. What do we think?
Well, it's gonna be pretty low down for me. I don't think it would really help being visual either. Like, because if you look at episode 2, like
The surviving one.
yeah, it doesn't have like I don't think it'd be a great benefit of like seeing the whole thing.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Maybe because it has that mystery behind it, people are sort of like, oh, it might be really good or whatever.
Yeah, but you're right. Episode 2 doesn't have much riz.
No, it doesn't. No, and the rest, you can tell with the telesnaps with the rest of it, it doesn't either.
What do you want to do? Do you want to put it on the bottom? Do you want to put it under the Underwater Menace? What you gonna do, boy?
I'd put it at the bottom, to be honest.
Right at the bottom. Sure.
Yeah, Celestial Toymaker's crap, but I'd like to see Michael Goff's performance, so I'd like that more.
Yeah, there's not much in the way of performances.
No, there's not, but I think he's a good Toymaker. See, I was right, we didn't have much to talk about that.
Okay, let's talk about the Ice Warriors.
Boring as well.
The Ice Boo-Boos.
The Ice Boo-Boos. Oh, I don't care for this story at all. I really wouldn't care if it was fucking missing.
I care for it.
Why?
Why? Because...
6 episodes of them bitching about a fucking computer isolator?
Yeah, like the plot. Maybe not the best. But, okay, the costumes.
No, they're pretty... What, they're just... They're little... You know about the Ice Warrior costumes or the humans' costumes?
Both.
Okay.
Okay, so the humans' costumes, the way, like, you can sort of see it on the back here, it's not, like, the best showing of them, but...
Well, the sort of, like,
yeah, the
60s swirly pattern.
The 60s swirly patterns, and instead of it being a uniform, every one of the staff has a different design.
Yeah.
And it is funky. It is swish as shit.
Swish. But is that enough to warrant it for...
Okay, now, the Ice Warriors, they have a great physicality in the way that, you also get in the Seeds of Death, but they are lumbering around and slow, but, like, somehow they just make it work with, like, just, like, one big movement of the arm, just send someone flying.
Like, knock someone out, yeah.
Like, they have such a powerful physicality.
They do.
I think that's great, and... it has one of the best scenes in all of Doctor Who, which is Victoria running away from the Ice Warrior in the caves.
And Martin gets trapped underneath the...
And they have the wailing music being like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And that music so well conveys
it's very creepy,
the horror of and the deadliness of the ice.
Yeah.
In a way that is just incredible, and I think that scene is so good. Like, that's like the peak of the Ice Warriors, is that chase.
You think
it's incredible, just the isolation as that the music and the visuals convey as Victoria runs away and is chased. I think this is a mighty story.
No.
And its merits are sporadic, but fuck, that scene in the cave is amazing. I want this.
Oh, is that Right.
I want it bad. Like, if we lost that scene, which is what you're arguing for.
Let's just imagine it was one of the censor clips from Australia. I'm joking.
The Aussies are just like, no.
No, there's too much. Cut.
Ice. We fear the ice. Okay.
No.
So, where would you place it?
My opinion on this story. Right, I like the animation. That a lot of people don't like, but I think it's the most accurate we've ever had. So
it's fine, I guess.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Anyway, but let's forget that. Episodes 2 and 3 are probably the most entertaining because they're animated. Episodes 1, 4, 5, and 6, apart from the fucking Ice Warrior breaking out and the way they move and a sort of physicality, threatening presence.
Rock and roll.
I don't care for those 6 episodes about them fucking bitching about an isolator. So.
Yeah, you just don't like the plot, but the visuals do add to it.
The visuals are nice, but
they're the first showing of the Ice Warriors.
Even though a lot of the house is reused from Evil of the Daleks, but anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, because they've got like the random Victorian props that are just left over from Evil. And they went, yeah, just fucking chuck that in.
Yeah, that works pretty well.
It
to
does,
be honest,
for where it's set. Yeah, I get why they did it.
Very stuff up. I like this is on the level of Faceless Ones for me.
No.
The ice chase is superior to anything the Faceless Ones could offer. I would put this above the Keys of Marinus.
No.
But just for you, I'd put it just below the Keys of Marinus. Where do you want to put it then?
We're not gonna fucking be able to meet a ground middle here, are we? You're gonna hate me. That's the thing.
Oh, I already hate you.
But I know you won't put it this low down.
Right, you viewers at home, start cheering for me. Lucy.
I'd put it under the Savages.
He put it under the Savages.
Look at that great
Savage.
big chunk. Can we
piss off?
Piss off. Can we meet a ground middle? Would you really rather have 6 episodes of that over this?
The lowest I'm willing to put it is above the Moonbase. No, above Mission to the Unknown.
No.
That ice chase. God, it is
right.
Peak.
Right, ice chase. Walking on the moon. Transformation of a Varga plant.
Walking on the moon.
Dalek rising out the Thames.
Walking on the moon has nothing on the ice chase. It is some of the best Doctor Who I've ever seen. It's so unique. The horror of the ice.
This is one scene in 6 episodes.
Yeah, but I really like it, and there's a lot of music that backs up that whole vibe.
Put that on an audio. You can have telesnaps that give you captions and tell you what's happening.
It's a controversial one, but look, fuck it. If you get the Daleks up here, if you get to put them up there, I want the Ice Warriors to have some respect put on its name.
Fine. I massively disagree with doing this, but where's it going?
Let's put it above the Moonbase then. It deserves to be higher.
Deserves to be in the bottom 5, anyway.
I can't believe Ice Warriors is what split us.
Yes.
Our most controversial one.
Rubbish.
Okay, speaking of...
Don't you dare.
Speaking of rubbish...
Don't you dare.
The enemy of the world.
It's fucking amazing.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, so I wasn't there for it getting discovered.
Yeah.
I hear it's a lot better than
an audio. Yes.
Yeah. So
people said it was boring, the most boring Doctor story ever, and then it got recovered, and people were like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever."
Yeah, that does count for a lot. However, can I just say, Troughton's playing 2 roles, and the other role.
Yes.
He's meant to look identical in both parts.
I'm so sorry.
But instead, he blacks up a bit for one of them.
I didn't notice this until Lucy just randomly pointed out to me, and I was like, "Oh, wait, you're right. That's not good." It's like, huh? They're seeing him as with the haircut and that, but he's white, but he's meant to be Mexican. I don't know.
He's meant to look identical to this guy, and he even blacks up for it.
Yeah.
What the shit?
Apart from that,
like, and there is like the.
I need a drink. Keep talking while it's shit.
You get a drink. I'll just chat away. Okay, so the hovercraft helicopter chase is very good. It's cool with the cabinet thing the shuttle capsule thing that he does to go down to the underworld. I like the skeezy guy who's such a slimy shit.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Can't remember. It annoys me. I always forget his name.
Yeah, he's a slimy fuck, though, and I love that as an archetype. Like, if people say this was really bad until it got discovered, that does count for a lot.
Mm-hmm. It does.
I don't know how much it counts for.
But I love this story. It's in my top 10 because it's so superb. Very well written by David Whittaker, the same man who wrote Power and Evil of the Daleks. Very slightly paced and well directed by Barry Letts. Barry Letts directed this.
Barry Letts directed?
Yeah, he'd done another story later on. I can't remember which one it was. I mean, this was shit when it didn't exist.
And now that we can see Troughton in all this black top glory, God, you love it.
Oh yeah, it was better then when we couldn't see his black top glory, 100%.
I guess I would still telesnaps of it.
No, I do agree. The one problem and is that inconsistency. It's just like they just like what they see him as a white man. It's like, wait, you should be, a Mexican. It's just it's wrong. It's just silly.
It is also kind of a naff story.
No, it's not.
But
it's Doctor Who does James Bond.
Last time I watched it, I did enjoy it more than I've ever enjoyed it before. So where are you wanting to put it?
Because I rely on Lucy doesn't, but rely on visuals for this. See, this proved seeing is believing. Anyway.
Okay.
To me. No, I'm joking.
What do you think? Below the Highlanders? Am I not merciful? Am I not kind?
No, I was thinking. Sorry. I was gonna say below the Aztecs, but the more I think about that, actually.
Oh yeah, the Aztecs is very good visually too. Yeah, I'm happy to pop it below the Aztecs.
I was gonna say below the Romans.
Should we pop it below Evil of the Daleks?
No.
You want it below the Romans? Nah, the Highlanders is more important for appreciating Jamie and Polly. It has benefits beyond just the quality of the story. Yeah, below the Highlanders, where it deserves.
Not really fucking doesn't.
Okay, the Web of Fate, you say that it was not well received when it got recovered.
Yes, so this was a bit like a Tomb of the Cybermen situation where we had the audio for years and this got rediscovered, like Tomb, and people watched Tomb and were like, do you know what, this is a bit naff visually and it's better on audio. Web of Fear, because it's so atmospheric, and I mean very atmospheric, and you can even hear that in the audio, people built upon that reputation for years.
Did they have the first episodes?
No, they had it. No, you're right. They had episode 1, and that was it.
Because if you have only episode 1, then the rest of it will be a letdown because of how perfect episode 1 is. It's like,
why are our opinions so opposite?
Wait, you don't like episode 1?
I don't mind it, but I think the story gets much better as it goes on.
Oh, the stylisticness of episode 1, it's very noir,
Oh yeah.
It's very like big shadows.
Yeah.
Very.
The underground set is fucking amazing.
Stylistic. Yeah, the underground set. So
they thought they actually filmed in the underground because the London Underground contacted them. Was like, no, we built a set.
Yeah, that's
like that shows you how good the set was.
That's a fucking testament.
That's a real good testament. But the people say this wasn't as good when it was visuals, you know, when it got recovered, and people were like, Enemy of the World's the better story. I don't agree with that. I think this is the better story. But to be honest, I think if we lost this, it would still be as good as an audio.
Yeah.
I think visual-wise, the only thing that has... the reason why it has such a shine is because of Douglas Camfield's direction. But I think if it was still lost again, people would still love it as much as an audio. So.
That's really interesting, because I can sing the praises of the visuals of this all day long.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Like, okay, so we've got the Yeti. Brilliant redesign.
Yeah, it's scarier and more intimidating.
Absolutely peak. We've got the railway. We've got the web coming through the railway. We've
foam.
got the web forming around the TARDIS at the start.
That's really good.
We've got
first appearance of the Brigadier.
Yeah, I guess.
Even though we don't have the episode.
Yeah,
anyway.
I'm just not that interested in the Brig when we first meet him here. Like,
it's just because he is such an important character. So
yeah, I think he's. Oh god, I don't want to say anything nice about the invasion, but I think I'm more interested in him
in the invasion.
In the invasion.
No, I'd agree with that. He's better in the invasion
because he's actually in unit then.
Yeah, and he feels more like the character we know. Yeah, he's just a colonel at this point.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I don't think there's much that we get from him in this that we couldn't get with the audio.
No, I'd agree with that. Even though I love this story to bits, I think it would be just as good as the audio. So
okay, there's other stuff. There's Troughton piloting the ball along the ground. That's
good.
How did he even do that? That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
There's like. The webs in the tunnel, and like the fact that like when the web stuff bursts through the walls,
the wall, yeah,
that's incredible.
It's really good. Yeah.
That's some of the best visuals. So the fact that you say that despite all of this amazing visual stuff, it could be just as good
as
lost.
an audio. I think it would be. Yeah. People loved it like as an audio, and people said it wasn't as good when it got found. So
that's so interesting. That's so cool.
I know, but it's so atmospheric. Even as an audio, when you listen, because I've listened to bits of it as an audio, it is just as atmospheric.
Oh, and there's one moment that's visually amazing. Like, you know, the Welsh driver.
Yes.
There's a bit where basically there's some dialogue, and then they basically. The implication is that the Welsh driver is the mole for the Great Intelligence.
Yeah.
And cutting to his face at that moment is like the creepiest shit ever, and you're like, oh my god.
I know you're on about. I know the scene you're on about is yeah. That's it. However, one scene I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
The Battle of Covent Garden.
Yeah, it's a bit naff, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's brilliant. It's so good. It's so good. You have like the Tomb of the Cybermen theme playing in like reverse and reverse and reverse. I love it.
You know why they have the Tomb of the Cybermen theme?
Because it was the most...
Because the Great Intelligence is the Gestalt consciousness of the Neanderthal race.
Oh, thank you.
And the Yeti are the Cybermen of the Neanderthals. Anyway.
Yes, that's why it's there. Do you like Web of Fear?
Every time I watch it, I like it a little less. I loved it when I first watched it.
Okay.
So to hear that it's amazing on audio, I kind of...
Yeah. No, I'm happy of putting it, you know, like mid-low down.
Yeah, considering how peak the visuals are, I'd be fascinated to know if it didn't exist. So yeah, let's put it low down. What the fuck?
Well, a great story, and we both agree that, you know, it should be towards the bottom. People might hate that, but again, if you listen to the audio before it came back, you might know what I'm on about.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. That I feel like it could just give it so much life.
No, it does.
All right, where do we want to put it? Below the Massacre, above the Ark?
I was hanging around a bit there.
Below the Ark? I do like the Ark.
I would...
Below the Ark. Below Mythmakers. If you're saying this is better undiscovered, we should put this below the Crusade. I'm open to anywhere around this area. What are you thinking? Below the Massacre? Okay.
Oh my god. God, we had a lot to talk about with that, didn't we? No, you had a lot more to say about it than I thought you would. So I know you're not like 100% with it.
I really respect the Web of Fear. So
Good.
actually, one last thing I want to say about the Web of Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Travers possessed.
Oh, it's fucking scary.
His physical acting there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
He looks so dead and like an empty husk the way he's performing his voice. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
And just even more scary on audio.
So we've put it below the Web of Fear. That's cool that it sounds scary on audio. That's wild.
No.
Such a visual powerhouse of a story, and we're putting it that's amazing.
I know.
Isn't this exciting, folks? wasn't this list a great idea?
Yeah, and this is like my 5th favourite story so far in my marathon, so that tells you how much I think this is good on audio.
Okay, now a very interesting one to chat about.
Yeah.
Fury of the Deep.
Yes, Fury of the Deep, with a shit animation that we will not talk about.
I want to talk about it.
Why? It's rubbish.
Okay, so... Right, I think the fact that it's not as good as it could be is worth talking about, but also I think that the animation is great. I think that the seaweed is creepy. The fact that they give it a kind of different kind of animation style to everything else gives it an
Yeah, it's a bit more like stop motion almost, kind of. Yeah, the way it grows in that. I know what you're on it. No, just the way it moves is a bit more like stop motion than fluent animation. There's
something weirdly organic about it that is actually really cool. Yeah, I honestly don't see what people see about like how bad the animation is. I think it's good animation. Obviously, if you compare the amazing
Oak and Quill.
So there's a surviving clip of 2 characters,
Mr. Oak and Mr. Quill.
Going.
And it's fucking scary. It's so good.
So hype.
Hype. Thank God we have that.
I bet this story would kind of suck visually if we got it back.
No, that's what I'm thinking.
Because everyone says, yeah, this animation's rubbish. I really like it. I really get value from it. But
I think it'd be a
people really like this Lost.
I think it would be a Tomb of the Cybermen situation where it gets recovered and people say the visuals of it are a bit naff. Whereas Macra Terror, I think if that got recovered, people would say it's shitter. Whereas Fury, I think people, like people, I don't think it would live up to the audio hype that it has.
I can't see the seaweed looking good.
No, neither could I.
Can they really make it look good?
No, honestly, I don't. It was interesting thinking about it, but I just don't think this would live up to like people's hype. Like I honestly think if it was to come back, it'd be like Tomb of the Cybermen or Web of Fear, where people go, still a good story, but actually visually wise, we kind of got it wrong. It's a bit.
Can't believe people are saying that about Tomb of the Cybermen.
Yeah, people said it just wasn't as good when it got.
What the hell? It's off top.
People love it now a lot more, but back in the 90s, people said it wasn't really as good as they imagined it.
Cool.
I think that'd be the case with us.
So, of course, we should say first use of sonic screwdriver.
Oh yes, I forgot.
It's pretty cool.
Last Victoria story, which is a really good send off for her.
Oh yeah, that's actually
which is really tragic and sad.
That is worth something, I think.
Yeah, because it's the way sort of just like. There's like the last 7 minutes of it are dedicated to just her leaving, and they just have that nice quiet dinner, and Jamie talks to her, and then I would like to see that.
Yeah, no, that sounds really powerful.
Yeah.
And at the start,
her departure's well done.
Doesn't everyone like have like a
foam fight?
A foam fight.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. But the first appearance of the Sonic is something I totally forgot about, but that is worth like.
Yeah, I think we get it enough in the war games, to be honest.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, if that's the clip that everyone uses anyway. So, but it's really just. But I think Victoria's departure still comes across well on audio.
Yeah, I think
it's a bit sadder on audio, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like Victoria's departure would be amazing to see how everyone reacts to it how Victoria, like, is it Deborah Watling?
Deborah Watling. Yeah.
How she plays it throughout the story.
Yeah,
that would be great. But also, like, by and large, I don't think this story would benefit from
being recovered.
Yeah,
no, I'd agree with that.
It lives in people's minds.
Yeah, exactly.
Where are we putting it? I put it above the Savages.
I was going to say above the Smugglers.
Oh, so you think it's worth? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I guess the Smugglers doesn't. I do want the Smugglers to come back, but yeah, no, this would be really cool to exist just for that end stuff. And maybe it's good. Maybe it's.
No, I imagine it's very good. It's just I don't think the rest of it would, benefit from existing.
Go.
Let me grab the DVD. Oh God, yeah, big problem here.
Oh yeah, don't worry about that. We'll just put the top 3 on top.
Okay, fair enough. Keep moving them up. Oh my God.
Okay.
Okay.
The Wheel in Space.
Shit.
Okay, it is a big pile of poo. However, last time I watched it, it gave me such a warm, good feeling.
Why?
Watching it, I don't know. I think it's because it's so bad that I underestimate it every time I come to it.
So do I. Yeah, I'm always a bit pleasantly surprised when I watch it. I don't like it, but I'm sort of like, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's so unmemorable because it's such a mess.
Exactly.
But somehow,
what is their plan?
I love watching it. I guess I got that from just watching the telesnaps, but. I do want this.
Really?
I like it. I can't really justify myself. The Cybermen look worse than they. Okay, the worst Cybermen of all time are the Revenge of the Cybermen.
What?
Fucking yeah.
So nice and chunky.
Ugh.
I love that design.
But
the worst one's the fucking Nightmare in Silver, fucking Iron Man one.
yeah, they're pretty bad. Ross quite liked them.
Does he? Really?
Yeah.
Considering he's a big classic series fan and, I guess cares about the origins and
I'm
stuff.
taking him through modern era.
He liked those Cybermen?
He did.
I'm surprised by that. God, that's an opinion.
So, the Wheel in Space, there's not much that I can do to justify this, because I just like it, and I guess, I'm able to get this feeling from just the telesnaps. And we've got this recent animation.
Which was very good.
Which is the super realistic 3D animation. Yeah, that's so hype.
The only visual thing I'd want to see from... Well, it says Zoe's first story, obviously.
It's got some Cybermats.
It's got some Cybermats. The Cybermen are barely in it, so don't have a lot going for them. It's the first time John Smith is mentioned, actually, but you hear that in the audio anyway. So
yeah, that's not really.
It's not like a
visual
moment. For me, it's a servo robot.
Yeah, little cutie.
Little cutie, little.
Yeah, a little robot at the start.
Robot.
Which we have a beautiful animation of.
It looks tremendous. It looks really good.
But it's trapped on the Macra Terror DVD.
But honestly, I mean, apart from that...
I like it just as a story. I know it always... some stories you just expect so much and they end up being so shit, whereas this one you always just the low expectations do it such good.
Surprise you. I mean, I don't hate it. Every time I do a marathon, I'm about to get to start, I'm like, oh God, the Wheel in Space, 6 episodes of drag, and then I watch it, I'm like, it's not great, but better than I expected it to be.
Gives me a warm feeling in my tummy.
Your warm feeling in your tummy. But right.
Yeah, I've got no real arguments for preserving it, really.
Other than the servo robot, but do you want that more than fucking Victoria's departure?
Yeah.
You want that more than Victoria's departure?
Yeah. Because I think the seaweed's going to look crap.
Oh, God.
We would get Zoe's first story, which is something, I guess. I don't think
it would change anything.
Yeah, I don't think it changes anything about how I feel about her. But maybe that's because we haven't seen it. She does go through a bit of a internal crisis conflict.
Yeah, which is like, oh, I am a heartless bastard.
Maybe watching that would help us get a better handle on her character. I think
we've got season 6.
Yeah, but
of it.
This does actually have an arc for her character that sets her off. I think it could attach me to her more. because I think she's a cool companion, but I do want more from her. All right, where are you thinking? I want it to be above the Time Meddler.
Oh, so close.
Where do you want it? I just like it. I want it.
The wheel in space over the web of fear? Really? That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, but this one just feels good, you know?
I mean, I was going to put it up above the Ark, but...
It's special. Alright, should we...
Because you hate the massacres.
Yeah, but I mean, there is value to the Massacre. Like,
yes, the people getting slashed and the Doctor, you know, being a lonely bastard, so...
I think recovering the Massacre would be interesting.
No, I think it would help it a lot.
And it definitely helped me like Stephen more.
No, yeah, because it is his story, so... But for me, it would be above the Ark. Actually...
Come on, the Time Meddler. Like, is what's going for it there?
Great visual comedy. It's not boring.
Is
The
it?
Meddling Monk.
Meddling Monk, who's a lot better in the Daleks' master plan.
He's just as good.
Nah. I mean, look, if you really want to place it low down, I can deal because I
Right.
do already love it the way
Wait,
it is.
should we put it above the Web of Fear?
Yeah?
Okay. Oh wait,
It's getting hard to rank these. Like,
what? Some shit of the Dominators is hard to rank. What?
okay, the Dominators. Dominators. It's got the replacements of the Daleks.
Yeah, that was not a success. Like
The
like
Quarks?
many others, the Quark. Oh god, not.
Yeah, okay, the Quarks suck. The Dominators, like, it's nice to have them.
They just bitch about conserving power for 5 episodes. That's all it is. For me, visually, right, the only thing I want to keep from it is the bit where they're trying to see if the second Doctor and Jamie are idiots. Because you remember that bit? Remember he's trying to put the shapes for the little holes, and then he's like, "Oh, stand up," and he gets electrocuted.
They've got big shoulder pads, though.
Big shoulder pads.
You can't knock the shoulder pads.
Yeah, and paper sticky notes around them.
The biggest shoulder pads in all of Doctor Who.
Quite.
And yet we're going to rank this how low? There's nothing to this. Like,
no, there's not. There's really not.
Like the Indigenous.
This was my first 60s story, by the way, and I used to like this. I don't anymore.
I think sometimes I like it. Like, I think
It depends on my moods, but last time I hated it.
Yeah, every second time I watch it, I like it.
I think that's because Lynn didn't like it, so because she hadn't seen it before. So
every second time I watch it, I like it. Like.
And we have all 5 episodes of this in the archive. You know, it's just like, well, we don't have.
I think I really hate the indigenous population's outfits. They are so ugly.
Oh, the curtains, as I call them.
I actively don't want them. I mean, I don't think this. I think this story does benefit from having its visuals exist.
Oh, a lot more, I would say so. But I think if we were missing it, we wouldn't be losing a lot.
We wouldn't.
Imagine it as a reconstruction.
Where do we want to put it?
Oh, towards the bottom.
Yeah. I think.
Shit.
Well, should we? It's going to be around the Savages or the Underwater Menace.
I was thinking that.
What are you thinking? I think I put it above the Savages. I think there is some stuff worth having there. But I know you really love the Savages.
I'd put it under the Savages.
Fine. I'm fine with that.
See, we're now clicking as to where we're roughly going to put these stories. We got through the Dominators in 2 minutes.
Fuck. Alright. The Mind Wobber.
Oh, I mean...
Oh, what a terrible story.
No!
Yeah, no, this is amazing.
No, visually, like, fucking hell, thank God this survives.
Yeah.
Because I think we would lose so much if it was missing. Like, this would just not come across well as a reconstruction at all.
It would definitely be weakened by it. Like, even just the tension of that guy who keeps quoting Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah.
Like, not knowing if he's going to, like, give you away or not. Just, I like the ambiguity of him. Obviously, there's just so much visual going on in this story.
Yeah. Sorry.
What?
No, just the thought I've just had.
What did you think?
For the cliffhanger of Zoe's ass, anyway. That's very famous. But
Fair.
you got Jamie screaming like a girl as well. So
I think Jamie getting replaced is hilarious.
Yes, it
and
is.
it's so compelling because
Uh-huh.
I don't get why the Doctor's like, yeah, and you know what, this is Jamie, even though his face is wrong.
yeah, completely wrong. Just shows you that he doesn't know it at all.
Yeah, it's one of the best action scenes in all of Doctor Who with
What's
the Doctor and the Master.
Oh yeah, but they're like, oh, we're gonna put this in and we're gonna put that in, and
Yeah, the Doctor's like, oh
creating
yeah,
the story,
this fencing guy's gonna fight your fencing guy, and then the other guy's like,
the Musketeers and all
Well,
that stuff.
well, I'm gonna have Lancelot fuck your guy
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Like,
Nah, we would lose so much if this was missing.
okay, what's your instinct? I would put it. I'd pop it below Power of the Daleks, to be honest.
Well, I'm not gonna put it above that. However,
It's such a special story. It's so unique.
I put it above the Web Planet.
What you gonna say, Web of Pharaohs? Like, if you had
12 episodes or 5 episodes.
Yeah, but 12 episodes of what?
Greatness.
No, it deserves to be above the Daleks.
No.
The Daleks.
No.
Why not?
Because it's important.
But this is special.
It is special, but...
Oh, you know what? So you want it above the Web Planet?
No.
What if we pop it 2 below that and put it below the Gunfighters?
Why?
Because you're putting it below the Daleks, and I want it above the Daleks, whereas I love the Gunfighters and I need the Gunfighters.
What?
This is how it's gotta be.
Yeah, because giant bug sets are more important than fantasy. Oh wait, no, we put it above Planet Giants. Never mind what I said.
Oh, Planet of Giants. You know what?
No, because again, Mind Robber relies on its visual. I think Planet of Giants would be a decent reconstruction.
I have a feeling we are going to have some disagreements about the invasion. Okay, so the invasion. It has one of my favourite spine designs.
What, the bridge and some smoke?
Just the blue and the white and
Black.
yeah, it's nice. I like it.
Okay.
Has my favourite Cyberman of all time in it. The Screaming Cyberman.
On the sewer.
The audio for that is so hype. I know it's not very visual, which is a shame.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. I think it's probably scarier on audio than a visual, to be honest.
Oh, I love it so much. But, okay, The Invasion. Not a very visually compelling story.
It's directed by Douglas Camp.
Like, who can...
It's the same guy who directed Web of Fear.
It has Zoe's best moments when she blows up the computer
yeah, that's funny.
by feeding it logic.
Logic, yeah.
And you've got Tobias goading the guy into shooting him and getting shot by him.
Oh, that's so good, yeah. And he just laughs back at him, yeah.
But, you know, stuff like the Cyber Planner or whatever, they're rubbish.
The Cyber Planner is rubbish.
The Cybermen on the steps of St. Paul's. It was rubbish then, it was rubbish in Series 8.
I knew you were going to say that.
Like, everyone talks up how hype that is, and it just makes it worse.
So good.
Alright, feed me with your bullshit. Why is it good?
Well, I mean, I would argue that it's probably the most iconic Cyberman scene ever. Just with the tomb below that, I'd say.
The most iconic Cyberman scene ever.
No, I'd say the St. Paul's Cathedral one is.
Honestly, I think New Who is better. You've got, like, I waited for you.
Yeah, but that's still really relevant. I mean, I say it's relevant.
You've
That was 8 years ago, but still.
You've got I Was Jackie Tyler.
That's, yeah.
Oh, I Am Jackie Tyler. Whatever.
Yeah, but I don't know. Right. I love The Invasion to bits. However, it's weird looking at it because, well...
Because now you realise how naff it is.
No, it's a great story. But we've got 6 out of the 8 episodes, so... It is like, it's like, But again, we're judging it on, you know,
Do we lose all of them?
Do we lose all of them?
Or
And
keep them all?
I really don't want to. Because episodes 1 and 4, I don't think there's a lot in them anyway. I think the animation's good enough. However, let's go off the other episodes.
The animation is great.
It is good. It's very good. It's very atmospheric. It's
Better than the actual story. If you ask me.
It's very well directed, the animation. Well, for me, it's the main. Look at the three who are most prominent on that cover.
You got
Briggsy, Tobias Font, and the Cybermen.
Yeah.
Now the Cybermen are barely in it. They don't come in until halfway through the story. They come in episode 4, which I love. I think that's brilliant. How you're watching it, and it's like, whoa, the Cybermen are in it. You know, it's just like it just adds another layer to it. Tobias Font is one of the best one-off villains in Doctor Who.
Is he though?
Yes, he is.
I prefer Mavic Chen.
Do you really? I mean, I love both of them, to be honest.
Played by the same guy, of course.
But yeah, Kevin Stoney.
I don't know. Like, is this guy really that good of a villain?
Because he's just so quiet and intimidating, and he's just fucking vicious underneath, but he seems so pleasant on the outside, you know. And he's part cybernetic. And I mean, the Brigadier. I mean, it's the first story of a unit.
Yeah,
and you've got great action sequences of them fighting off the Cybermen in the sewer and outside in the streets, and you know, obviously the scene where they burst out the sewer is just so iconic. And
I guess it's iconic, but is it good?
Yes, it's very good.
It's naff.
If you say so. And it's directed by Douglas Camfield, who I will never shut up about that man because he directed Web of Fear and Seeds of Doom. But in terms of visual in terms of story significance, this doesn't have a lot going for it, really. The only thing is it's the last appearance of the Cybermen of the 60s.
I'm waiting for you to tell me that, like, your love of, like, Tobias Vaughan was designated a lie.
No, it's not. Tobias Vaughan is amazing because he seems like a fucking vicious cunt on... he is a vicious cunt on the inside, but on the outside he seems so pleasant and calm, and you know, it's just like Paca. But you know, if you set him off, and just like the thing, he thinks it's like Mavic Chen. He thinks he's above the main adversary.
He's alright.
Like Mavic Chen thought he was above the Daleks. He thinks he's above the Cybermen, and the Cybermen are going to agree with him and that, and obviously no. And he sort of changes at the end.
Isn't this Benton's first appearance? Do you love that?
That as well. But at the end, you know, like Mavic Chen's like, oh, what would the world do without me? You know, oh, I've got nothing left. And he says to the Doctor, right, I'll help you, but not to actually help you. I'll do it because I hate them. So he changes his character, but he's not doing it to be good. He's doing it because he hates the Cybermen and he fights back against them.
I like Troughton running away from lots of explosions in the alley.
That's on the DVD cover.
Where would you want to put this?
Well,
really?
we've got 8 episode goodness here.
8. I would. Or I mean.
Oh, I want to hear what you would put it.
Where would I put it? It's the Invasion. It's 8 episodes. Oh, go on! I pop it above the Web of Fear, under the Wheel in Space.
No, sorry.
I would like to see the Screaming Cyberman though. I love that Cyberman so much. I want it now.
Well, you just want it as a little dolly. Just press the button, it goes.
I want to do things to that Cyberman.
What? Sorry. Anyway, I've just noticed. You know, I love how we've got a clump of animations here as well, and here, apart from the fucking Dominators. I would put it above the Wheel in Space.
I'm surprised you're putting it so low. What's going on with that? I mean, yeah, I'll take that if that's...
Because it's a great story, but I think visual-wise, we wouldn't lose a lot in that sense. I don't know. Yeah, but I'd put it above.
I want it below Wheel in Space, but I think you're giving me a lot of ground by doing this, right?
Put it just above the Wheel in Space.
I think you're being very...
generous.
Understanding.
Because I'm just hoping you're going to love it one day. We put the 10th planet above that. Oh, God. Oh, God.
4 more.
Oh, no, not this.
Okay, now.
Oh, dear.
So, Robert Holmes's first script, and you can tell how great he is based on this. This is such peak Doctor Who.
Yeah. I'll let Lucy defend this story, but I'm just going to sit here die inside.
Okay, the crystalline design of the Krotons is amazing. I love it. It's so unique. God, like a lot of it is in the plotting, but also like, oh God, what do I like about this? Like, I don't know. It just works for me.
Yeah, it works for her, but not like millions of other fans.
I love the Krotons. They're so good.
Million fans against you.
Like, I mean, it's 4 episodes.
Yeah, and it's shit.
No, it's good.
I'm trying to think of anything I like in it visually.
Yeah, visually it's hard to say. Like, I'm sure, like, the bit where Troughton and Zoe
That's literally what I was thinking of.
are doing the machine.
Yeah, that's all that weird, like sort of upper pan camera shot. So weird.
What? No, I'm thinking, like, when they're taking the test, and Zoe does better than Troughton at the test.
That as well. Yeah.
But, yeah, I guess, like, there wasn't that much visually going on, but I still love it. Like, I think it would be a lot worse if we didn't have it visually. I know everyone...
Oh, I think it would. Yeah, it would be.
I think everyone hates this, and I don't get why, because it's by Robert Holmes. Everyone loves him. I think
but not his first 2 stories.
he's overrated as fuck, but not in the Krotons.
No.
Okay. I want this.
But I have nothing to say for this story because it's shit. Anyway.
Can we put it...
Oh, God.
Can we put it above the Wheel in Space? There we go. I'm giving you the invasion.
No, you're not putting that above the fucking Web of Fear.
Go on. The Web of Fear would be better without it existing.
That'd be worse without its visuals.
I love this so much. I love it deeply. God, I wish I could remember more. It just always takes me by surprise at how excellent it is. I absolutely love the trope of just a society having its knowledge guided by forces beyond it.
Okay, put it above Wheel in Space.
It's got Jamie fighting someone.
He does that plenty of other times.
They're like, do you want a weapon? He's like, no, I won't be needing that.
Yeah, that's funny.
That is badass.
Yeah.
Where are you wanting to put it?
Where you wanted to. We'll put it above the Wheel in Space.
Yes! I love you, Krotons.
Why?
It titivates my gons.
It titivates your guns. Does it? Very clever.
Right, the Seeds of Death.
It's so good. What? You don't like the Seeds of Death?
I always think I do, and I did the first time I watched it because I didn't like the Ice Warriors the first time I watched it, and this is their return. And they are so good in this. Like, their physicality is here. They have their hissing still. This has them with their heavy breathing, where the more they get pissed off, the heavier their breathing is.
Yeah.
Peak. You've got is it Fusion? Was that the...
What?
The cowardly guy. There's a cowardly guy in this.
I know who you're on about. Yeah.
I like cowardly guys.
Well, he's just terrified by fear and is manipulated by it, and he like, it's so that scene where he dispenses the seed pods, and like the Ice Lord makes him feel selfish for the fact he's trying to save his own life and he doesn't realise he's about to kill millions of others. That is so fucking good. Another scene I like as well is when see when Troughton sends all their fleet into the sun and boils them alive, which is so like, that's so like Seventh Doctor. That I could imagine the Seventh Doctor doing that.
Is this the one where Troughton has like two
the two dishes? Those
two things that he uses as weapons.
The sun rays.
Such a good chunky prop.
He's Troughton's very like vicious in this. Like he gets annoyed at not killing he's not able to kill an Ice Lord. He's like, fucking hell, calm down. But there's that bit where the Ice Lord finds out that he's just sent their fleet into the sun.
Are they called the Ice Lord?
Yeah, the one with the that.
Yeah. I didn't know they were called the Ice Lord.
Yeah, the Ice Lord. Well, he's got a name that I can't remember, but it's just known as the Ice Lord. But when when the Doctor sends the fleet into the sun and boils them alive, you know, like the Ice Lord's like, oh, you destroyed my entire fleet, and he goes, you tried to destroy an entire world. There's like it's like, fuck you, but you know, he's got a point.
There's the cliffhanger with Troughton in the
foam,
bubbles.
I was just thinking that as well. So much fun.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Now, I was always hit and miss with this story, but the last time I watched it in my marathon, I fucking loved it. It's top 20 for me. This.
I was really bored by it last time.
It's so good.
It is
so good. The Ice Warriors are so vicious in it, and they're so like they're just killing everyone left, right, and centre.
So the Cowardly guy, I think, wouldn't be better on an animation, but I think the rest of it might be better on an animation. You never know.
Really, you think?
You never know. I don't know. I think it's good. Like, it's got some nice visuals and stuff.
It's the most Troughton story, I'd say.
Oh,
It's the most Troughton story.
I'd personally pop it under the arc. Where would you put it?
Well, I have to look at it like, well, that is Hartnell's last appearance.
10th planet.
Dalek rising at the Thames. Maybe it's just because we have it, so I'm like, well. But I wouldn't want to lose it. But
It is well made.
Would it be as good on audio? I don't think it would be.
Nah, I think it does benefit from visuals. I think its visuals are a strength of it. Without the visuals, I think it would be quite weak.
Above the Krotons.
I think it's below the invasion, though.
That's what I was thinking. Above the Krotons, below the invasion.
Fine, whatever.
Try to make a middle ground here.
Croton hater.
Yeah,
That's what you are.
I'm a Croton hater.
Yeah, disgusting.
And the story, I don't mind them as a concept. They're pretty cool. They're just not conveyed well in the story.
We'll see where the War Games ends up.
Should be at the top.
Guess we'll see.
Yeah, because I think I know how this will go down.
They may not call me French for nothing.
Alright,
Oh dear.
the Spice Pirates. Okay.
I know where it's going. Yeah.
Is this not the second Robert Holmes story?
Yes, that's also rubbish.
And there's a reason why he got invited back.
What? Because he wrote the Space Pirates, like, yeah, we'll get that guy to write Spearhead.
No, what I don't get about Doctor Who fans is like some of when Doctor Who is like, oh yeah, I'll be like dark, gritty, and edgy with like Caves of Androzani or the Genesis of the Daleks. Everyone's like, oh, I love it so much. And then you get the Space Pirates, which is also dark, edgy, gritty, and people are just like, oh, it's the worst thing ever. It's like, no, it's not. And you know, if we didn't have the visuals for this, we would not have all those like the models of the spaceships.
Yeah, they exist as an extra on the Lost in Time box set. So
well, in the reconstruction, on the loose cannon reconstruction.
Yeah, those are all all the model shots exist for it.
I think the model shots
they're very good.
Are phenomenal.
They are good.
I think the Space Pirates, with those model shots especially, delivers such a cool sense of it's not just it conveys the space part of Space Pirates very well.
Is that enough for 6 episodes? No, it's not.
Okay, I think Milo Clancy would be a blast.
Yeah, but I think he's just as annoying on audio. So
I think his audio can be a bit annoying, but I think visually would just heighten him.
It'd be a goof, a laugh.
I think the Space Pirates is good. It's the second, the most recent time I watched it, it wasn't as good as the time before that.
Thank God.
Because I really liked it then. But I think if this returns, this would get a reappraisal, and it would be reappraised favourably. We need the Space Pirates
No, we don't.
back.
We really don't. No, we don't. I have nothing to say for this, apart from Milo Clancy's funny. I'd like to see the Doctor's ass land on drawing pins, that as well. And he's like, I like throwing pins.
Oh, also, like, people don't like gritty, edgy Doctor Who. Delta and the Bannerman. I mean, also, it's very cute.
Yeah, a whole fucking bus of people blows up, yeah.
Like, the baddies in that are, like, fucking... It's as if they're from Lethal Weapon or something.
I like that story.
Anyway.
Probably because it's 3 episodes shorter than this, so...
Space Pirates, 6 episodes of
Boring.
Robert Holmes.
Shit.
Second outing.
No. Rubbish. Anyway, well, for me...
You put it at the bottom.
Right at the bottom.
Oh, no. It would... it would benefit from coming back. I really
don't think it would.
Right, my instinct for being kind to your opinion is to put it below the Ice Warriors.
Oh, for fucking hell. You're going to put that above the Dalek Rising at the Thames.
You know what? I'm going to just work out where I would personally put it. I would put it... Oh...
We've got no telesnaps of this as well. Just thought I'd mention that. So we don't really know what it looks like.
You know what? Yeah, I would put it below Ice Warriors, above the Moonbase. That's where I would place this. This will be so hype when it gets discovered. You will eat your words.
Oh, well, I know.
They will taste better.
Well, I love it.
So we have some disagreement here.
Why?
Why? Because
it's so boring.
No, it's not.
It's so fucking...
It's piracy in space.
And it's not very good, and it's too long for 6 episodes.
Nah.
Should have been a 2-parter.
No, if you like the Massacre, why wouldn't you like the Space Pirates?
Because the Massacre's a really good, dark, edgy, gritty story. That is not, don't you dare. And I want to see Hartnell cry his eyes out about everyone leaving him over fucking... The dots were landing on drawing pins.
We can make Hartnell cry by making the Space Pirates
Making him watch the Space Pirates.
By putting it above so many of his stories.
Oh, what a good segue. Oh,
okay.
Fuck's sake.
Oh,
I hate this story.
I want it above Web of Fair.
You kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me?
This needs to be recovered. And those like model shots, if we did not have them, which is what we're arguing for here, we'd lose them.
In episode 2.
They would what?
An episode 2, which is also boring.
We have episode 2 of this.
Yeah, we do have episode 2 of this.
Nice. I
just don't remember.
This story is... It would...
This is my least favourite 60s story, and I'm being a bit biased. That's why I want it at the bottom, but also I just don't... There is nothing going for this for me for it being recovered. There's absolutely nothing.
And he will eat his words when it is.
When it gets animated.
What are we going to do? You want it... Oh, fuck. Okay, let's see. I love the Krotons. I love Wheel in Space. I want to put it above Web of Fair.
Are people noticing a theme here? How there's 3 shit Troughton stories back to back? Yes. Anyway.
Well, which ones?
Krotons, Wheel in Space, Space Pirates. I think those and Dominators are at the bottom of my list. Okay.
Come on, above the Web of Fair. Come on, please. It will be so good when it's recovered. Wait, what's your opinion? Where would you put it at the highest?
At the bottom.
I would put it up here. You put it down here. Where's the middle? It's here.
That is the middle. So yes, okay, we'll put it up above whatever you said.
You're a true bro.
Yeah. For fucking putting this above Douglas Camfield's Beautiful Direction, yes. Oh, finally, we're here.
The wanker games. The shit games. The fucking 10 episodes of just backwards and forwards and back. Yeah, no, I think it's great too. What? The fact that Jamie teams up with the red coat
is amazing. Shows you how much he's changed as a character.
Yeah, just like you've got the war chief. You've got like
the
so much.
The Time Lord's first appearance. Episode 10 as a whole. The trial.
Yeah, Time Lord's first appearance is so important because of how much presence they have and how much.
I mean, you don't see them until the last episode, but they're so. you feel their presence throughout those first 9 episodes. And you know how much of a big force they actually are.
Oh, it's all so good. Like,
It's 10 episodes, and it's so well paced for 4 hours as well.
you've got the Romans just charging at everyone.
Yeah.
You've got
the American Civil War fight as well, which is really good.
which one's that?
So there's the do you not remember it? It's when they're sleeping in the barn, and then the black guy comes in, and they ask him which war it is, and he says it's a Civil War.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few
And
Civil War fights, isn't there?
No, but that's got the American Civil War in it, and he teams up with Jamie and the Second Doctor, and they fight off. Obviously, I guess I could say the White Resistance, basically.
Oh, the Mexican guy's so good, isn't he?
Him as well. Yeah.
I don't remember that fight scene in particular. There's a lot of fight
There's
scenes
a
in
lot of
this,
fight scenes in it,
and they're all pretty good.
I mean,
the Time Lords have a presence here that they never ever have ever again.
Again, because they're shit after this.
Yeah, because I think the next time they appear is Colony in Space.
Yes. And they're already rubbish. They're so uninteresting.
So I think, like, people would not care about Gallifrey half as much. Like, know, in like Hellbent, when everyone's like, "Oh no, we didn't get much of a Gallifrey story."
Yeah.
If this hadn't done what it did, I don't think people would even care that much about Gallifrey.
No, I'd agree with that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because it actually gives it good depth.
Obviously, it's 10 episodes, so that's really a lot going for it. It's
written by Terrence and Malcolm.
What else have we got? Why is there a picture of a Dalek and the Quark there?
Because that's... Right, do you remember the scene where he's like, "Oh, let me show you some of the evils I've been up against." The Yeti and the Cybermen and the Daleks and that. That's basically just a picture of all the props they had for the screen, and he just done a photo with them.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah, that's a cute photo, yeah.
Okay.
And the Quark's on a plinth.
So let's just work out what we're talking about here. Where are you thinking of putting it?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. It is the War Games. I don't have a lot to say for it. People have praised this fine to death, but I mean, it is 10 episodes. It has so much lore and importance and history in it. It's so well done. I could not imagine it as a reconstruction at all. Like, never. I just could not. I can't imagine watching a 4-hour reconstruction. Like, do you know how mad that is to fathom? The fact we have all of it is a miracle. And it's got so much importance and lore and history in it that, like, it's really, it's tremendous that we have it to begin with. But for me, for importance,
yeah, it's like, is it more important than Power of the Daleks?
I'd still say no on that.
It's close though.
It's very, very close.
Right, so Power of the Daleks has Troughton's first. It's like, without this, the Time Lords are just not going to be as impressive and exciting. Maybe that's for the best in a way, because then we wouldn't be so disappointed.
So disappointed when they come back, yeah. I would put it above the... I'd put it above Tim and the Cybermen.
Below An Unearthly Child?
Yeah, just because of that first episode. That is that first episode.
Wow, that really holds a lot of sway for you, doesn't it? A lot. I think I'd put it above An Unearthly Child, but also...
Yeah.
It's 10 episodes. I don't know. It's close, isn't it? They're basically
close,
equal.
Yeah, they are equal. Yeah, they are, because it's the first and last 60 stories, but just they have so much importance in them, each of them. But I definitely put it above Tomb.
Yeah, it's definitely above Tomb. God, 1 episode against 10.
That's a good point.
Like,
it's the first ever episode.
What is 4 episodes against 10, really? I guess the first ever episode, it is kind of... We would feel that loss more deeply than the War Games.
Than that, yeah, 100%.
It is so cool that we have the War Games. I can't believe we're doing this, but yeah. Below it go.
It's just that first episode. Has a lot going for it.
Okay, now,
yes.
So we've done this. Let's review how we feel about this.
Wrong. Space Pirates, wrong.
Yeah, the Space Pirates deserves to be higher up.
No.
I think we can all agree with Lennon on that, I guess. That
it's shit, yes.
But I disagree.
Anyway, well, I think the bottom ones are mostly correct.
Yeah.
Apart from...
I wonder which ones have the potential for us to be the most wrong about them. Like, it would be so cool if the Crusade somehow turned out to be amazing.
Amazing, yeah, and we've just kind of got it towards the bottom, yeah. I would have the Mythmakers a bit higher, personally, for myself.
Yeah, I think the Mythmakers...
It's just visual comedy that we really need.
You know what? Screw it. Should we put the Mythmakers up to just below the Space Pirates? Above it, even? Below the Krotons?
below the Krotons?
I don't know. Where do you want to put it? I'd put it up to the Invasion Massacre kind of area. As a comedy, I think...
Under Seeds of Death.
Yeah.
Okay, we're changing something last minute.
I think we...
This wasn't planned.
I'm a Time Lord, I have that right.
Okay.
Oof. Anything else we want to comment on before we...
No, to be honest, I think most of it's correct.
Mission to the Unknown is a jammy fuck.
Yeah.
One episode.
Yeah, I know, look what it's above.
Obviously, I think Keys of Marinus deserves to be higher, but I accept where it is.
No.
I think Dalek Invasion of Earth should be so much lower. I think it would be so much better if we did not have it.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's like the Celestial Toymaker. Having it just...
Makes it shit.
Yeah. I think Reign of Terror deserves to be a bit higher.
Nah, I would put that lower.
I'd put it around Mission to the Unknown.
Okay.
But I think we've got a good...
I think we have most like... Yeah.
Jesus, Enemy of the World.
It's really high, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just taking people's word on it that
it's good.
That being rediscovered makes it so much better.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't believe you slapped my hair off.
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
It used to be beautiful.
I don't think... well, let's look at our top 10. Power of the Daleks, yep. Unearthly Child, The War Games, The Tomb of the Cybermen, The Edge of Destruction, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm trying to count. The Daleks, that's
7,
Master
8,
Plan,
9, 10.
Web Planet, Gunfighters, The Mind. See, I'm just laughing at them two being there.
Which two?
The Gunfighters and the Web Planet.
I'm so glad that The Edge of Destruction got to be so high. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's
got good origins for characters in the early days.
It is peak. Like when that story turned up, I was just like when I saw that for the first time, I was
that
like,
story turned what in 1978.
No, just like in my chronological watch through, I was like, you know what? There is hope for Doctor Who. Classic Doctor Who can be just as good as New Who.
Is that what got you into Classic Who then?
No, I mean, like, I was committed to watching it chronologically, but The Edge of Destruction was when I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Is that when you started to get interested in it?
That's when I fell in love with, when I realised I had the capacity to fall in love with classic Doctor Who. Alright, so rounding up.
Well,
I'm happy.
Yeah, I'd agree with pretty much all that. I think we both obviously knew that Power of the Daleks was going to be at the top regardless.
Yeah.
Just because it's the story that's shown the show can continue, with another actor. So, just a bit more important, I think, than that first episode. And War Games and Tomb. I think all the right stories are in the top 10, especially Power and Alpha Child, War Games, Tomb, and Master Plan.
Alright, which ones please your soul at their placement? Edge of Destruction pleases my soul.
Dalek's Master Plan pleases my soul.
Web Planet being high up, Gunfighters being high up.
That pleases my soul as well.
Honestly, I think Planet of Giants shocks me how low it is, but there's such good quality stuff up there.
Yeah.
It's nice to see the Faceless Ones get some respect.
Yeah, it's quite high, isn't it? Yeah, it's about in the top. It's in the top 20. So
I think one of the things I like most about this list is just identifying the stories that like would benefit most from being lost.
yeah,
Web of Fear, Dalek Invasion of Earth, the Celestial Toymaker, and the Macra Terror, just stories that really should be at the bottom of this list because they're worse off for being discovered.
Yeah. I do think. See, I think going through this list, it was like, oh, why would you put this above that? Why would you do that? But see, when I look at the full scope of it and looking at it, I'm actually, do you know what? Most of it is in the right place, I'd say.
Yeah.
There's one or two in there I don't agree with, like the Gunfighters being that high, or the Space Pirates being that high.
Yeah, it deserves to be higher.
But and it's interesting as well when we're looking at it because we've got these clumps of animations, like they're all animations.
So Ice Warriors, Moonbase, 10th Planet.
And then, I mean, Abominable Celestial, Macra, Underwater, Savages, that's all animations apart from Dominators. It's interesting how we've sort of...
Yeah, so up to here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stories and only one of them isn't animated and they're all at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which I think is, yeah.
I knew that was going to be the case, that a lot of the animated stuff would just end up at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because we think they're good enough anyway, so...
So I guess we've got a bunch of the actually animated ones are below the missing ones that haven't been animated yet.
Yeah, we do actually. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Because our earliest one that's not been animated is the Crusade,
and we haven't really seen the Savages, so we can't.
No, can't comment.
To us, it's unanimated.
It's unanimated still, even though it's right there. But. Yeah, that is interesting you point that out. We've got... It's weird how we... Actually, I've just... The Highlanders is that high up. That's weird, actually.
It's the nature of the list, though.
Yeah, but...
Jamie and Polly needs that story.
Yeah, and we've only got 2 season 3 stories in the bottom half, and then most of that's at the top. Yeah. Huh. Pleasing. Right. It's pleasing.
Yeah.
Mostly agree.
So, see you next time for our ranking of the covers.
DVD. Every single classic Doctor Who DVD cover, and oh my fucking god, it's going to be a challenge.
And you can bring any steelbooks you got too.
Do you want the steelbooks?
We want to rank all the covers, right?
I don't have every single New Who volume DVD, but we are setting the classic series, aren't we? I don't have the Spearhead from Space steelbook, but I've got the Blu-ray that has the same cover, so...
Bring what you will, and we'll make something good
of it.
Fine,
chucking the collection sets. No, I'm joking.
All right. Do we want to advertise anything at the end here?
What?
Listen to my music. It's good. I've got a song coming out soon called "Let's Get High and Watch Colony
in Space." Yeah, that should be a Doctor Who title. Let's get high and watch the Web Planet.
Hell yeah!
Trippy.
All right. So long, suckers.
See ya. There we go. Yay!
Fucking did it.
I know. Took long enough.
Oh, let's get high and watch Colony in space.